Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Counter's Casual Competition, where the competition is casual, but the casters are extremely try-hard. To my right, I'm going to let people introduce themselves today because reasons. To my right, to my further right.
Also, no, my name is Mar. my name is below me. I cannot speak.
I have a name tag for a reason, folks.
You're a silly sausage. That's what you are.
Silly sausage.
Well,
That's great.
I guess we're starting as we mean to go on here, so yeah, great stuff. Gentle co-casters today. We will, of course, as always, be doing 3 rounds of competition. Let's quickly run. I think we're going to have our first round starting fairly soon, so let's quickly run through what the prizes will be. We've got first prize, a second prize, a random player prize, also a prize for whoever comes up with the best clip of the day. That is the clip from the stream, not a clip of the gameplay. And whoever, one of our random players who streamed today. Now, Maisie, I realize we haven't actually discussed the details of how this will be done, but we know that you've got as you sometimes do, a mystery secret prize, which will be released later on today. But I suppose before we get into our first game, the thing that's on so many people's minds is we've literally just had a hotfix. Chica, what kind of world do we live in now?
A very sad one without the pirates. The pirates are dead. Ding dong, the pirates gone, as they say. They have killed Bilgewater. They say that all the time. They have somewhat killed Bilgewater, to a degree at the very least. So it's largely moved away. It's largely moved out of the meta, and that is the kind of world we have to sit to live in.
Yeah, and with Bilgewater gone, I think we're gonna see a resurgence. Well, I say resurgence, they just got here, but there's definitely gonna be a lot of rerolls on our players' minds today because, well, with the pirates gone, the rogues can play.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. You know, it definitely feels like we're in that kind of rough and rocky part of the set now where, you know, we've got the most egregiously overpowered thing which we've seen for ages out of the way. But there must, you know, anything that could exist in any form in the previous meta had to have been also fairly overpowered to even be able to compete with Bilgewater at all.
Yeah, PBE was pretty dominated by Bilgewater, and I don't know how many of you played BBE, but for a long, long time there was triple Rage Blades on just about anyone you could. Not Rage Blade. Help me out. The two bow item.
Oh, the RFC, yes.
Yeah, there was triple rapid fire on just about anyone you could put a triple rapid fire on, and that of course has also been fixed. But if you were around for that little part of the PBE history, then I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's who would have thought? Who would have thought it was a bad idea? I mean, I think we were talking about this a little bit. That while Bilgewater itself has been hit pretty hard, you know, it's not the only place which we would necessarily see Nilah being played, for instance.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Nilah largely came out of these nerfs unscathed. There was a couple of smaller ones, but nothing to really take her out of contention long term. And Nilah's got another trait to her name, not just her origin, and that is Vanquishers. And Vanquishers, at a baseline level, are pretty damn good. I mean, you're sitting at Jhin, Ashe, Darius, Xayah, Nilah as your base 5, going up to 6 with an emblem maximum. And even for Vanquisher 4, it's not a terrible trait to be running, just in terms of the strength of what it can bring to the table. Add in that extra emblem onto something like a rogue, and you really are starting to see these abilities really come and hit hard, especially for the Xayah, the Nilah, and whatever rogue you decide to throw in, because the more increased crit damage and a chance for your ability to crit for something like a Qiyana or a Cat or an Echo. I personally am absolutely terrified of that prospect.
I don't know, for me personally, I would be remiss if we didn't do a little rundown here without talking about Slayer. Now, Slayer is something that we're seeing peppered in with Demacia in the form of Rek'Sai, who is now no longer maybe she. See the new set. No idea what I'm doing.
I
But
think she's got one more tag. That's what confused me as well.
she's
It's like,
Bruiser.
got one
it's-
more tag.
Bruiser.
She's still a bruiser. There we go.
Mm.
But yeah, no, Slayers are incredibly strong. We have the addition of Mordekaiser. He's going to be utilized in quite a few comps as well. So I do like Slayer. I liked it before. I like it now, and I hope her players whip that out today. I have to stop with the phrasing.
No, forbidden, Maisie. This is a family-centric stream, and you've already lowered the tone.
This is
That's fine.
Scandalous.
Let's wrap it all back up. It's Bonky Kaiser. He's just gonna bonk you on the head.
funky, guys.
He's gonna bonk you specifically, Maisie.
Stop with
Oh.
That way. That way.
No. Let's move on. Void. Yes, let's avoid the subject by talking about Void. That's. I mean, I've brought up the Tactics on Tool screen just to see where we are, kind of post hotfix, and it seems like Void was already doing pretty decently well. The play rate isn't the best, but the placement itself is very, very good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, since the removal of Yasuo and the introduction of Fire, you've essentially got something to play that same vein, right? As you're bringing in another challenger who's very good in their own right, their ability is very impactful and can kind of use the extra tanky unit from Void to really start to run over the map. So it's kind of stayed in the same vein as it did prior to mid-set, but it's just as strong as it used to be, and it will continue to be one of the stronger options just because of the sheer amount of options you have to pivot out of if you turn out to be contested.
Yeah, and I have some insider knowledge from the UK's #1 Void 1 trick, Barry Baden, who has told me that not only is Void going to be incredible if you get that +1 for the Fiora, like we talked about, but there's now a line into the Rek'Sai reroll that we saw so much of last set with a Quinn reroll as well, because the addition of that extra Slayer on Rek'Sai. Having those two units together, both being 3 costs, both able to 3-star them on a really good roll down, then that's something that is very fun also.
Yeah, I mean, the one which I've seen sneaking around a little bit, and I think it's flying under a lot of people's radar, is definitely the Gunner. I've seen certainly for Chushananchi, who might be playing today, so I'm not sure if she's woken up. The 3-star Jace is actually like pretty scary when fully itemized and with a lot of Gunner procs behind.
Yeah, I saw someone playing that in one of my games last night, and I thought 3-star Jace, what in the bronze is that? But no, they won the lobby, so
Yeah.
Who's
I
bronze
mean-
now, Maisie?
That's about the way of it. The thing with Gunner at the moment is, in removing Zeri, they've taken out a bit of the access to Zorn, right? You have to bring in something like an Echo to give Jinx that extra bit of oomph. But all 3 of the Gunners, in terms of Jinx, Jace, and Aphelios, are extremely strong in their own right once they've got items under their belt. I mean, Aphelios, something that we've come to know as an attack speed heavy carry, now gaining stacking AD every time he attacks. You go attack speed stacking items, you go for like the Rage Blade. You can go for things like the Nashers if you want the extra attack speed once you've got all those mirror chakram around you. You can go for the rapid fire cannon for that extra just % damage increase. And he's going to be attacking so fast, that's going to stack up really quickly. And this is a champion who intentionally has lower percentage attack damage scalings on the spell because of the strength of the spell. It's a really, really strong spell. So having the option to kind of pick one of these carries and just say, right, that's what we're doing. This is who we're playing. And sticking to it is insane because they all have such good abilities for what they're trying to do.
All right. So again, apologies to viewers. Apparently, there's some problems with the audio sync. I don't know what could be causing that. But what we can do at least is get to the first game. So let's get it started. So we're starting off here with our first lobby. We've got Tommen, Apostry, Pills, and Narath, the VT. We are definitely going to be flying by the seat of our pants in this one because this is going to be certainly my first cast of set 9.5. I'm assuming it's probably true for both of you as well. So we'll do our best. We'll do our best.
Yeah, we always do when we are together. Actually, this is the first time we've been a three together, so this is gonna be either incredibly silly or incredibly informative. So hold on to your seats, I guess.
Find out one day. Well, we'll find out in the next 20 minutes with a bit of luck.
All right, well, thank you for the thank you Hydro for letting me know about my microphone. I might need to bump up a few more times. All right, so we've got our first augments come in. So a lot of these are going to look pretty similar to what we've seen before, but there are some new ones creeping in as well. We've got Pandora's up here, Prepostery, Patient Study for Pills, and we'll see what else we get across our other two PoE players.
Yeah, well, we can see Nora there in the bottom right, with the Orin's Forge. So Orin item still very much something that players are looking to get. That's a really nice hull crusher on the it's not Scion. I'm falling apart.
The Swain!
on
He's got an
the
S in his
Swain.
name.
Thank you very much. Yes, Swain, of course, the Hull Crusher, going to provide a nice bit of front line there, and with Sorks already on board, I think this is a nice start for Nora.
Definitely looking to be a strong showing. I mean, Swain loving that health, especially if Demon Flare pops up at some point throughout the game. The Swain is going to become very scary very, very quickly. Of course, gaining more damage with the every 100 max health you gain, I believe, is how Demon Flare works. Still trying to memorize that one because it sounds like it's going to be impactful. But yeah, the early Sorks plus the Hull Crusher onto Swain. It's going to be very hard to cut through the Alawi Swain front line. And even if you do, there's a 2-star Cassio you've got to deal with just machine gunning you down.
Yeah, I like this start, and so... Oh, I actually missed... I think we came into this one a little bit late, so we've missed out on which of the Bilgewater portals it is. Hopefully we'll be able to figure that out
It's
as we
Rat
go.
Town.
Oh, it's Rat Town, okay.
That was the little bag icon that we just saw jump into our faces. That is Rat Town. Twice per game, you will gain a shop full of units specified to your composition. And as we can see, that's a 2-star Malzahar and a 2-star Swain just off the back of that.
I'm pretty sure it's once per stage, but yep, Rat Town. We'll count and we'll find out exactly how it is. We're learning just like viewers at home.
Yeah, I guess it's functionally like getting a loaded dice in terms of mechanically. In fact, it might even be exactly the same thing as getting a loaded dice. But the presentation is nice indeed, and yeah. So overall then, if we are in Rat Town, we're getting this loaded dice every stage or every couple of stages. Presumably we're looking at much stronger boards overall than we would normally be.
Yeah, it was Rat Town last night that presented that wonderful, and I'm gonna use air quotes here, J3 to me. Yep.
Yep, Rat Town definitely very impactful. I do believe it is just twice per game, but I'll double check that quickly. But the interesting thing about Rat Town is it enables you to really kind of double down on what you want to do extremely early on, which isn't something we often see, especially just after the mid set. We tend to see people kind of mill around for a little bit, see roughly what they could want to go for based on what their shop's presenting to them. But that very early Rat Town drop shows us that people can just double down really early on. I mean, we've got a 2-star Kale here. We've seen the Swain and the Malzahar come through as well. I'm very interested to see how the rest of round 2 is going to play out, just because of having that Rat Town so early on.
It's definitely been a thing as of the the base set that people were kind of seemingly encouraged to choose their path very early on. But I'm with you there. It definitely does seem like we're going to be getting some pretty harsh pushes in early on. I mean, Razmipa, Susky Business, and Tommen, who we're looking at right now, are all win streaky through the early going, and you can see Pills and Assassin. They've both taken the brunt of those early losses.
Yeah, sitting on 78 HP, not wholly ideal, but with Piltover still in the game, we might be seeing that this is just a Piltover board or someone early open foring to gain that loss streak advantage that we see so many players going for.
We'll have to see just how it plays out. Looks like we've got a Demacia going for Tommen here, which is terrifying because I mean early Kale is insanely strong if you can get it going, and that's a Giant Slayer. Or no, Demon Slayer, I believe is the Radiant version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a strong start, and it looks like maybe we'll be seeing a couple of these win streaks stay in place.
Yeah, that Demon Slayer on Kale, not something that's tremendously good early game because the units don't quite have the health to make it quite the furious item that it is in the late game. But the Demon Slayer is, of course, just a great Radiant item all in all.
So, one thing, a competition we haven't talked about yet, and I think it's been receiving a little bit of shade during the early parts of 9.5. We're on 9.5 already? Jeez, these sets go past so fast. Challenges. People have been generally calling them out as being somewhat underpowered, but for Repository, they seem to be doing a decent job at least right now.
Yeah, so my stance on challenges is early game, it's going to give you a very nice avenue. But much like the Void with bringing the Fiora in, Challenger has that now as well instead of the Yasuo, but she really only does single target damage, whereas Yasuo could hit 2 or maybe even 3 units with that ability and really show some promise in fights. But now you're kind of entirely relying on Kai'Sa to melt through more than one target at once, which means your focus on itemization is split. Do you want to itemize your Fiora and just go complete AD items, or do you want to itemize your Kai'Sa and go for the more magic items? It's gonna be interesting to see how Apostrophe decides to play this out. Will they stick with Challenger? Are they gonna go for a vertical? Are they gonna move out of it as the game goes on? But for me personally, it feels very underwhelming just because you've lost some of that area damage.
Yeah, Challenger as well is something that we've seen a lot of in the main set, either just as a staple to get to the mid game or as the late game composition being played with Ionia. But with the removal of Yasuo, Ionia is no longer really as easy to get in because we have that Demacian Fiora. So Demacia seems to be something that we're seeing played a lot with challengers as well, meaning that carry like Quinn could be someone that would utilize challenger spat really, really well.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye out on the challenges, but of course, you know, as we've said coming into this one, the big kind of headline for today is going to be how much of an influence have Bilgewater still got on the meta post nerf. I mean, it was a pretty harsh nerf, all things told, but for Pills at least, he's still pushing down this path. Do you both, do you think he's gonna get rewarded for it?
I think it's very possible here. If Pills is the only one on Bilgewater, it means he's able to pick up the units that are usually pretty heavily contested. And as we watch this scout through the lobby, we're not seeing anyone else on Piltover. So I think Pills' behavior here very, very much could be rewarded.
Absolutely in agreement. And I mean, even if it doesn't work out long term, you've got this MF at the start of her itemization. You can really easily look to transition this into strategist with an Azir and a Jarvan and just say, okay, Bilgewater didn't work, but that's fine because I can go for the increased damage, I can go for the shielding, I can go to just completely ruin a comp with area damage, which is also a perfectly viable option.
Yeah, I mean, especially as we got Patient Study in place of Pills, he's getting the most amount of XP he could be getting out of that augment from taking the heavy loss streaks. So go into our second set of augments. It will be Silver. I think Pills is having some deep thoughts here about whether or not to try and get immediate power or try and keep building towards a strong later game.
No, Pills instead gonna opt for that lesser champion duplicator. Now, we've already mentioned that Pills has this Bilgewater lane uncontested, and with the duplicator, that could just be the extra sauce needed for a little 3-star action.
Yeah, now it just caught me off guard for a second there. I don't know if either of you saw that, but the bug where the little kitty wasn't actually on the board. So the movement inputs were just like, actually, I don't think I will. But yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay, not only is he uncontested, but he is high rolling out of his dang mind also.
I love how he set Pills' player cam on here, because you can see how his entire demeanor changed instantly the second he high rolled that Nilah.
Well, we were talking about taking this slow and potentially pivoting. I don't think that's necessary now. Neela's still a very strong unit in her own right. Of course, only the 1-star, no items as yet, so gonna take a little while to come online, especially up against the likes of Demacia, especially with that, what was it, Deathfire Grasp, I think is the item on Sona there.
Mm.
Yep.
But if you can get this Neela online, things are going to start to get very, very scary for the rest of the board, because Neela is one of these units where she kind of takes old recon, dashing to a new safer place when casting, and giving herself a shield, and amps it up a little bit because of how strong her base attack is. So if you can start to get her up, if you can start to get her items, the rest of the board, it's just going to start to lag behind in terms of the damage needed to deal with her.
Well, Pills has got quite the challenge here against Razmeepa, who is win streaking right now. I suppose, Maisie, I presume that the main thing Pills is trying to do at this point is avoid getting smashed too hard while he tries to swing around into a more potent board.
Yeah, that seems to be what's going on here. With 43 HP left at stage 3-3, it's not looking huge for Pills, but Pills is chilling. Pills has got that 8 loss streak, farming the eco. The eco looks great. We're already at level 6. So, yeah, this is not an unwinnable situation. Pills is someone that we've seen in these counterfeit casual tournaments time and time again, and from when I've casted anyway, has always done reasonably well.
Yeah, he's definitely been a player who's had some pretty big moments of brilliance. I think in this game, it's going to be definitely calling on him a lot harder. He's there along with Assassin and Anonymous, all three of them 50, 40 HP and below. Razmeepa and Susky Business. I don't even know how to say that word. Apparently.
Business.
Alright, I'll get an education. I'll I'll forget immediately.
There we go. And our players are getting their second Rat Town. It's their second rat shop of the game. So we're seeing some 4 costs now start to sneak in here. Tom got the Silco in the shop, but choosing not to go for it here. But that does mean that other players will be hitting their key units a little bit easier.
Gonna be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, this is 5 Demacia now with a Jarvan up the front, so you've got that large area CC. Question is, it lands onto the entire board as well there, which is terrifying, and this KO truly online now. That's a shield.
Boy. We called out the Deathfire Grasp there for the Sona. I mean, the KO is good, but the Sona, her ability to get onto those backliners and delete them is pretty damn scary, particularly if she ends up getting a second and therefore a third item in with Demacia.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying what this Sona is going to be able to do after a point, especially with that Radiant Shojin. You're just going to be casting so often.
Yeah, Sona with the Spear of Harana there, looking mighty spicy, but I do love that Kayle. We talked a little bit earlier about the Demon Slayer on Kayle, and of course we were just into that swing with the Hull Crusher, so that is a lot of extra HP for speaking of extra HP for Kayle to cut through. The Demon Slayer is really going to come in here. It'd be interesting to see the damage on these units after this fight is over, because I think Kayle is going to do quite a bit of damage here, even if it's not enough to take down the Void.
Well, we were looking to see if anyone was going to be able to turn around an early loss streak, and Anonymous certainly seems to have the tools to do that. This board is terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying. I mean, a very, very strong showing with the Void Bruisers. A lot of high star level units, a lot of very strong individual units. I mean, we saw the Rek'Sai there, the Cho'Gath was there as well, 3-star Malzahar at the back. It's a lot of damage coming out of seemingly nowhere. And it's the kind of thing you really need to start to worry about if you don't have a way to deal with it. I mean, looking across the POVs we've got currently, you've got your Challenger, Shurima, so there's not really a huge way to deal with it there. You've got we've got that Swain board that we mentioned earlier. Oh, there is a third Rat Town. Look at me. I'm just wrong.
Don't worry, we'll be doing a lot of that today.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the Azir, the fully itemized Azir there as well. Another unit who, once you get some star levels, can start to melt through, but doesn't have that damage to cut through the high health bars just yet. And I believe the third POV we've got, being Pills, our Bilgewater team comp. Once Neela starts to come online, going to be the person to cut through these high health targets if you can get her to that point. But it's going to become difficult.
Yeah, we just had a little look at Sausage's board there, and we saw the Zon come into play with Zilko. That Zilko is holding a robotic arm. Not perhaps the most desired item. It maybe used to be when we still had Zeri, but still really fun. A chance to trigger an extra attack when attacking for Zilko there.
Yeah, I mean, we can see that it's definitely at level 6 for... So that's... Oh, hello. We've got a chance to go down Zorn. We were talking a little bit about Zorn as a trait, having lost both Argot and Zeri. Very difficult to get up to Zorn 6 now, so I think maybe a little bit more just of a throw-in trait than the potential team composition it was previously.
Yeah, it's something that could add a little extra utility, a little extra support, but it's not the powerhouse it once was. 6 Zon now, of course, giving you 5 overcharged Zon items, which you think, wow, that sounds real good. But the overcharged items are now not as potent as they once were.
Yeah, definitely been knocked down a peg or two since the changes, and we've just seen a full commitment to strategist here for Nora. A huge option, or a huge decision rather, to change the items off of this Swain onto this Nasus. Not entirely sure if it's going to do much for now, especially with that 2-star Mordekaiser just going bonk on the entire enemy team. But definitely going to prove to be dangerous as the game goes on.
I think it was a little disappointing, but we do have to bear in mind who the opponent was there, which is Assassinenka, who is 1 round from being dead, so there's definitely been no holdback as far as what's on the board. Do you want to talk a little bit more about Apostry and the challenges, as we haven't seen them for a little bit? We've got one of our new items in play, the Night Harvester for the Fiora, as well as the Bloodthirster, and we've got a fully itemized Kaiser on the backline as well. This challenger board is looking pretty solid.
Yeah, we talked a little bit early game about getting those AD items onto Fiora and about having that really shreddy AP-based Kai'Sa in the backline, and Apostry has done just that. Also looking to add in the Demacia at level 8, probably with the Jarvan, but the Warwick 3 as well. Even though he's naked, he's gonna be able to do a lot of tanking and a lot of striking.
But also up against Assassin here, the Mordekaiser is just having a field day, bonking, as is this Echo. That's a full Rogue Slayer setup, which is a terrifying prospect when you actually sit and look at just how much damage these rogues are going to be doing. Assassin definitely living up to their name there. But on the subject of the challenges, yeah, I mean, you've got these items going. The problem is both of your carries are still 1-star. If you can start to find them and start to get them up, which this Pandora's Bench is going to allow you to do very effectively, because you can just roll 3-4 costs. If you can get to that point, you're definitely going to be in a position where you're like, okay, I'm fine with this. This is good. This is okay. But if you start to struggle to get these 2 challengers online, start to have them with their items, and honestly, just get your front line really to a point where they can keep them alive. It's gonna look to cause issues for this composition, because Aurelia is not going to be able to do much. Neither is this Neferi, generally speaking. So, really start coming into these 4 stars soon. Otherwise, the struggle could become real.
We have got a Pandora's Bench there, which at least should help a little bit with that. We're currently re-rolling forecasts.
Yeah, it could get real hairy here real fast. You're seeing these 2 Fioras have been online. They were both on the board last game for Apostry. Still not managing to hit. The 2 Neelas there would be certainly delicious for our Bilgewater player, but not quite what Apostry needs. There's still 29 HP though, and with the stage damage of 4-5 being so harsh, we need to hit and fast.
Sheikah, something that's jumping out at me here is we've got a massive difference in HP totals between our top 4 and our bottom 4. We're talking about how the boards will be coming aligned much more strongly. I think we've got a pretty solid divide between the top 4 that did and the top 4 that haven't fully as of yet.
Absolutely. I mean, we were... That's a 2-star Fiora, just I don't know where that caught me off guard, I'll be honest. We kind of talked about how some of the comps would just be better for longer, and how you had a lot more pivot options, and that is showing a bit more in this game. But I think you've also... This is just a case of... It shows how 9.5 started off. I'm seeing this in a lot more lobbies than I used to, where you just have a clear divide between your top 4 and your bottom 4. And I'm not sure if it's down to people high rolling, I'm not sure if it's down to good augment rolls, or the legend you choose to run, or what. But it's happening a lot more often than I first would have thought, as we kind of look around the board and see just how strong the top 4 boards are, and just how hard the bottom 4 are struggling.
Yeah, and I mean, the bottom 4, we already have someone out. Juan is on EU West. Juan is out in 8th just now. So, very unfortunate there. We saw Assassinaka as well. This is the 2-star Mord. We almost have the Kiana 3 there for them as well. Just checking in on the board. On a win streak at 6 HP, but with 1 life remaining and our players coming into chickens, we might see the lobby push for a strength where those top floor players are able to knock out these really low life total players just now.
I'm really impressed by how well Assassin has been able to hold on in this game. But I think they've been going through and really eliminating their other low HP players. I could conceive of a world in which Assassin just goes around, kills the rest of the bottom 4, and then gets eliminated themselves, leaving us with the top 4 that have got a lot of ground to work with.
Yeah, it's going to be Assassin by name, Assassin by nature, not only playing this kind of rogue slayer, very assassin-esque kind of line, but also doing some Agent 47 hitman work. Now, I'm seeing something very, very interesting on Apostry's board there. We have 2-star Callistas. All that 4-cost rerolling has really paid off for them, and this could be the way to cap out the challenger board that we've been talking about trying to find.
Yeah, I was just looking at as well. You've got your 2-star carries now. You can start to look to contest some of these higher level boards, unless Cassante says no. But yeah, looking at 2-star Kaisers still rolling through these 4 costs could definitely start to become a real issue. And I mean, you're seeing it there. The Kaiser's doing so much work along with this Fiora, just melting through different carries of their choosing. And if we find a 3-star Kaiser, that could very well just be the end of the game. Very, very on the nod. Because you've got good items on the Kaiser, because you've got good items on the Fiora, all it could take is that 1 unit to 3-star. And you're really, really happy with the situation you're finding yourself.
I think the only thing saving the lobby right now is Apostry is out of cash. They've committed in a lot of resources to the Pandora's Bench, so they haven't got the chance to say 2-star one of these 4 costs and then have the high roll instantly into the 3-star Kaiser. We can keep our eyes on the far right hand side to see if this happens, but I do wonder if Apostry's got enough room.
Yeah, I just realized Assassin did lose a round there and has gone out in 7th. Held on for a long, long time.
Yeah, only a little bit of assassination happening there. Going out in 7th is kind of sad, but the ability to hold on there was really beautiful. We're still seeing Pills as well on this Bilgewater line, but it's not paying off for him. He's now sitting with just 1 life remaining on 7 HP.
Didn't get that 2-star Nila up until now, where it looks like it is sat in the shop there. That's a devastating turn of events. You high roll so early to find the Nila, and then get baited, and can't actually find her 2-star component until now, meaning you're only really coming online at this point. You've only just got your main carry to that point, and you've only got the 1 item on her. So she's not going to be able to tear through the lobby like we would expect her to. But now that she's on that 2-star level, she can definitely start to contend with some of the other carries in the game.
You can see Pills getting a little frustrated there. I think what he was looking for with a couple of lesser champion duplicators on the bench was a chance to 3-star the Nautilus. Doesn't seem to be on the cards, and he may have run out of room up against Razmeepa, who also has actually spent quite a lot of their money early on. So, Pills, even at level 9, could be in major trouble.
Yeah,
we've seen it-
absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
I was trying to say, this strategist board proving to be pain time and time again for every member of the lobby.
Oh, yep.
Ah,
Pills is gonna go out in 6. They're really unfortunate. We had that Bilge Water lane completely uncontested, and the game said no.
sadly, is the way of the game sometimes. Sometimes you get really lucky with. Sometimes you're just that one unit off of being in this situation that could be the difference between winning and losing. Pills sadly falling on the lower side of that coin today. We're looking at what round 5 carousel, full items coming in. Be interesting to see how these are put into use, as both Apostry and Tommen sitting still alive. Nora going as well, quite high health. We got a strategist board, a challenge board, and a Demacia board, really proving their worth.
Oh,
Sure,
and also, I just
Yep.
want to catch up on some of the stream business. Thank you, Shaker, for the follow, and Exuls and Holy as well. Welcome to the stream. If this is your first time coming along, this is the casual competition, which is 3 rounds of play as our players look to basically just play kind of for fun, but also mainly for relatively randomized prizes. Tommen, though, putting out a pretty solid showing here, making some suggestion that we could be seeing one of our players who's going to be challenging for first place in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, a very good start for this Demacia setup. The Deathfire Grasp onto the Sona, along with Shojin, has lost the Radiant item because of having a full set as Rattown 5 hits. But generally speaking, this Quinn Sona duo going to be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it's looking like Tommen as well is wanting to do a reroll for these 3 costs so close to that Sona thanks to that Rat Town shop and 2 Quins available, but with no cash on board, is
Gotta do
this the way forward?
It
Just
does
gonna
feel kind of tricky. I think we've seen this from a lot of our players. It's been an aggressive lobby because of so many extra units being thrown in front of our players. Anonymous one, though, we haven't seen them for a little while. They had the Bruiser board for quite some time. They've got the 3-star Rek'Sai online, and oh boy, you'd have to imagine this Bruiser board's going to be very hard to punch through.
Yeah,
there
I
is.
mean,
Please.
I was gonna say, I mean, the Demon Slayer is gone from Kael, and that was the big saving grace for this Demacia board into these higher health targets. So, I worry.
Yeah, there's just so much beef to chew through on Anonymous's board here that even this Fiora, that's a perfect item Fiora with that Radiant Sterak's still not able to chew through the absolute might of the bruisers here.
A quick whip round and see how everyone is looking. So Hydropower, forgot to respond to what you were saying before. Pointing out very well, Apostry currently on a win streak with multiple unslammed components here. Really fascinating. Does have the Pandora's in both bench and item form, so it's apparently waiting for the absolutely perfect item to come together before finalizing this board.
Very close to that Kaiser as well, I've just seen. I can't tell if that is one Kaiser away from this 3-star, and I think it is uncontested in this lobby as well.
There we go. Apostry so committed to this 4-cost reroll that's gonna be
there it is.
Yep.
Alright, well, I guess we know who's coming first in this lobby.
You say that, but might I remind you of the double up we had the other day where my Kaiser was 3-star and then still kind of fell flat on its face?
Alright, well, let's entertain this notion. Maisie, Jacob, what scenarios could you even imagine where this board doesn't come first?
This one.
Well, I was gonna say, there is a lot of HP here, but look at the shred on that Kaisa doing so much damage. Really, really beautiful items here. I'm trying to think if any other 4-cost rerollers are happening in the lobby, but with the Pandora's bench there and available, I don't know if anyone else is going to be able to get the tempo and indeed the units to get there.
It's definitely going to be difficult, right? I mean, you're sitting on a 2-starred forecast on that Pandora's bench, along with a couple of 3-stars to try and find this final Quinn. Just looking to maybe get that Fiora to 3-star as well. And if that happens, this lobby is well and truly one and done for Apostry. Looking very strong with this Challenger Demacia setup. Very, very strong indeed.
Yeah,
I'm
the one off-
impressed. No, please, Manny.
No, I was just gonna say one off the Quinn as well. There's so much strength. Like this board can cap out so high just based off the sheer units alone. Now we do have those items committed. There is just a little Negatron cloak sitting, and it's only gonna be full items from here on out. But I don't think that is gonna make any sort of difference here. This is very much Apostry's game, and we are all living in it.
I mean, something that's kind of jumping out for me for Apostry is while this board is already fairly ridiculous, the idea, yeah, you mentioned the Quinn being built up as well, but we've still got the Aphelios re-rolling on the bench. I think Apostry's got in mind to push this board even further.
Definitely seems to be the case. I mean, sitting on 4 Fioras off of that 3-star, sitting on an extra Jarvan, sitting on an extra Nasus, and you've still got your Pandora's bench rolling away with the Quinn 3-star now as well, with the Eye Edge and Last Whisper completed. Could start to get very dangerous very, very quickly.
Yeah, looking at such business here, this is someone that we have seen really, really strong throughout the game. This Azir as well. It's that this Azir comp is incredibly strong. The strategist is wonderful, but at the same time, it's still not gonna be enough. Such business is gonna go down here. Just a little Aatrox flapping away, doing his best. But that's Sush out in I think 5th, but we'll find out in a sec.
Let's see, yes. We got some of the clear view. Out in 4th, Suski out in 4th place. So Razmeepa, Anonymous 1, and Apostry are left to the last 3 standing, all with a single-digit HP. Again, apologies. It seems like multiple people are having problems with the stream today. I do not know what could be causing that. I don't know if it's a Twitch interacting with my setup in some weird way, but I'll restart the stream between this and the next game to see if maybe that will solve it. For now, though, we've got 3 players remaining. It seems like Apostry has absolutely got this one in hand, but perhaps we will get a huge surprise right at the very end.
Definitely possible. I mean, Anonymous and Razmeepa not really got the sheer power to deal with the 4 3-stars on this board. 2 of them fully itemized, very, very strong. Let's see if this board of 5 3-stars can do something against it. But this Kai'Sa may just end Anonymous's hopes of coming first in this lobby, as it's looking very likely. But this Rek'Sai is very, very strong.
Yeah, we've seen this fight happen already with the 3-stars, and the Kai'Sa's just doing so much here. Even that 3-star Quinn, not typically a tank unit, but in this case, very much tanking, and it's going to be the 3-star Kai'Sa that wins it out.
Alright, well, congratulations, and I think a very good adaptation to the Rat Town. Let's see if we can find any other players. If we can, let's see if this will let me do this the way I want to. Nope. Alright. We're going to quickly run through and see. So I'll bring it back to our faces while I rummage around and see if I can find any more streams that are as yet undone. But so I suppose going forward, from both of you, starting with you, Maisie, do you want to see more Rat Town, or have you had enough of it now?
Oh no, I love Rat Town. Anytime I see it in a lobby, I go straight there. Just having the extra units there, and the ability to get those 3-stars online. They're really aggressive, high-tempo games, and that's really where I'm not very good at the game. So I want more practice. Give me more Rat Town. Show me how it's done.
We have got another lobby for y'all. This is going to be Hydropat's point of view, and Hydropat is doing pretty darn well. We're seeing a little bit of similarity to what we saw before with the 3-star Quinn in place, though no 3-star Kai'Sa this time, Chico.
No, this time we are just going and hard committing to this Demacia setup. with the Quinn and the Kale being truly terrifying. Not quite fully stacked on this Kale, not quite at that level 9 point just yet, but so strong. And sitting at 57 health to the 9 and 2 of Bladezile and Prinny, this lobby could just be over this round.
Yeah, similarities again. No, this is also a Rat Town lobby, so I guess our players are feeling pretty Rat Town pilled also. And we're seeing another one of these big beefy brawler Void Boys in the top 3. So this is I feel like I'm in the Matrix right now.
Oh,
Well, looking like Prinny is out of there. Blade may have a relatively short stay as well. I love the combination of the Bruiser Azir and the Cho'Gath. Bladezile may only be on a single life, but that life's going to be very hard to take.
Yeah, that much HP is going to be tough for anybody to cut through, but we have seen the force of this 3-star Quinn with the Radiant sort of Death Blade available. There are a lot more 3-stars on this board as well. Whilst we don't have that 3-star Kai'Sa, 3-star Demacia with all its resistances are incredible.
yeah, it's absolutely insane. My biggest worry is you have no way to really tie health targets. I mean, we can see there the Kale sitting on a Giant Slayer. Is it going to be quite enough to bump up strength? Or is the Xante just going to kick Cho'Gath to the curb?
This is what you brought Hydropat to. No choice. Have to go into nightmare mode. We'll keep a close eye on what this K'Sante is able to do here, because yeah, he feels like he's the only hope for Hydropat of turning this around, and the positioning is so important.
Yeah, positioning here, I mean, K'Sante probably really looking to knock out that big boy Cho'Gath. That is an incredibly large Cho'Gath, and great rolls there as well on the Thieves' Gloves, because that Quinn's going to find it really, really difficult to get through with all the crit that she's going to be putting out, and K'Sante not going to... Oh no, K'Sante is going to just live in that backline, is on the Cho'Gath, and yeah, Blazezile's gone.
Very, very good targeting from the K'Sante there to knock the Azir completely out of the fight. The damage for the composition falls big time there. And that's all she wrote. K'Sante is the difference maker. Who would have thought?
I think that's a good assessment from Hydropat as to just how ridiculous that one is. Gosh, it really takes me back to when we had Lee Sin booting people off of boards. I guess functionally the same champion.
Yeah, pretty much. And it... Okay, yeah, go for it.
What I was going to say, no, Maisie, if you want to clear us out from this round, we'll be going to break shortly, but some final thoughts from yourself.
I was just going to say, with the buffs that K'Sante received at the end of last set, now healing before ulting your very precious carries off of the board, it just means he has a lot more survivability and sustainability. So peppering in a little K'Sante 1 actually does a heck of a lot of devastation, as we've just seen here on broadcast.
Alright, well, there we go. We have all of the recipe for success. So, gentle viewers, we will be headed to break. When we return, we will have round number 2. So stay tuned, and we'll be back soon. Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome back. Oops, I realized I just pushed my microphone a bit too loud. Pills, thank you for gifting a ridiculous amount of subscriptions, and for the early birthday gift. Very much appreciated. So we have got round 2 brewing in the tournament. I believe the tables have just gone out, so we've got a little bit of time to work with. So welcome back to your faces, Ichika and Maisie Marzipan. Now, Ichika, I know that you had some thoughts about particularly stemming from Game 1.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see if we stick to the vein of Demacia challenges, seeming to be very common throughout Lobby 1 across the different lobbies we had going. So I'm interested to see if it carries on down that vein or if it changes up a little bit.
How about you, Maisie? Is there anything you'd like to see continue from Game 1?
Well, do you know, right? Game 1, we saw 2 different games. Like, we only saw a little bit of the end of one of the games there, but we did see 2 games of Rat Town. Now, if you're watching at home, you're probably thinking, no more Rat Town for me, I've had quite enough. But no, I want more Rat Town. More Rat Town, more big 3 stars. Show me how to play this set. I'm so confused.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's take a moment to look at some of our other lobbies. Let's scoot across to here and see. And oh, also we need to do a stretch for Light Arrow. So
Okay.
I'm 30 years old and my spine is in dust.
sorry, I need to bring the cameras on just to illustrate just how much these two are committing to the stretch bit.
No, please never show that. that's my private spine dust time.
So one of the competitions we didn't get to see in the previous game, but was definitely, as we see, had an impact. It's Lovin being up there with the rogue composition. We know that rogues have had some sort of mechanical changes and sort of switched around, even in this most recent hotfix. Starting with Yuzuka, where are you with rogues right now? Are you a rogue enjoyer?
I am. I think the comp offers a lot, and you have 3 different carries you can opt into. So I definitely call myself an enjoyer, at the very least.
Yeah, I think Rogue is really fun. Now, something that I don't think is fun is 3-cost rerolling, because I swear I never hit. I am cursed. Mort Dog, please bless my account. I never hit the 3-star 3-cost, but I mean, you're saying, you have 3 potential carries here, and Slovene has shown us how it's done and chose to utilize all 3 of the rogues available here. That is one fearsome board.
We've also got some other boards. Wow! Look at the amount of stuff we've got here. So Hydropap, of course, we saw briefly in the last one. Maisie, we had this discussion about Demacia. It seemed like the majority of that board actually built around re-rolling some of the lower cost Demacias before moving into the higher reaches.
Yeah, I think being able to watch that game, it would have told quite the story, but I'm gonna just make one up here. So I think I think Hydropet really lent into Demacia super early, and the rest of the lobby went, and decided not to go so hard into Demacia there, because it was relatively uncontested with the exception of Obi there in 4th place. So even with Obi being so contested, they still managed to get 4th on the Demacia Challenger reroll line, which makes me think there's something to this.
Yeah, it's definitely a very strong comp to be running with the power of Quinn as she stands currently in the meta. Very strong board to be able to run, and apparently doesn't mind about being contested that much. Who knew?
Yes, this is fascinating. I mean, this is such a great opportunity for me personally, as someone who's been kind of flailing around in Horizon Brown, trying to find stuff that works well, just to get this sample size of not only stuff that's going to work in a ladder sense, but potentially things that can work very well in a tournament sense as well. We've got one last lobby before we move on to talking about our next round of play, where Night 3 was able to take 1st place with a very different looking board.
Yeah, I was going to make a comment here, but right away my eyes went to 7th place and went, wow, Mary Berry of Great British Bake Off fame is playing Horizon Bound.
I know, right?
So instead, I will pivot my thoughts from that into that legendary lasagna sort of top two that we're seeing there, where players have decided just to go a super fast 9 and 2-star a bunch of these late game units. Some people call it Biba, some people legendary lasagna. I'm a Garfield enjoyer, so it's legendary lasagna for me.
And it's been a viable strategy for quite a while now. Just hard commit into some of these higher cost, strong individual units and let them run the game. I mean, we saw a little bit of commitment to Shurima to give the K'Sante a bit of room to play. Of course, you had a Wanderer from Rise, you had Empress from Belveth, you had Scion running through the back line as well for Night 3 there. And then for Lawrence, you're sitting on this GP, this Aatrox, and the Heimer, who are also just really strong in their own right. So definitely a very viable strategy, if not worth doing every single game.
So something we saw from Pills in the previous game, which works, I feel like at least on paper it works pretty well, was that patient study. I don't believe he was actually playing Aurelion Sol, but was still able to push that through levels. I mean, from each of you, we've been seeing a lot of success from having these more reroll or sort of lower centered boards. Would you like to generally see people try and shoot the moon and have these kind of obscene late game boards instead?
I do enjoy seeing them, especially with new 5 costs like Gangplank, about seeing how that can be utilized in one of these super expensive late game comps. We see Lawrence there in second, trying a little bit of that with the Bruiser Gangplank. So actually that would have been a really beefy board. I'd love to have seen some of that game. So that tells me that in game 2, if we're watching your lobby, make that for me, please.
I do want to point out, actually, I didn't even notice that Lawrence has snuck in here when I was actually playing. So Lawrence, one of the people who makes the Aegis Esports North American League possible. The reason I mention this is because it's not a good time to play TFT in North America right now. It's probably like, I don't know, 6 in the morning. So shout out to the big man from Aegis for presumably waking up really early or staying up really late.
Yeah, Lawrence is really interested in getting some of the prizing, I guess, that we have today, including a mystery prize that we haven't talked too much about, but I'm gonna keep teasing it because that's just who I am as a human being.
Shika, are you more of a I'll put this before you now. Are you more of a set prize person or a mystery box kind of person?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think mystery box for me. I think the idea that you have a lot more options than kind of set prizes is a prize in and of itself for me.
The anticipation is the prize.
Yeah, and that's coming from someone who doesn't really like surprises. So
how about you, Maisie? Would you be more of, is anticipation a prize? Can you chow down on possibility?
No, I'm someone that is incredibly anxious. I have tremendous anxiety, both socially and just in every aspect of my life. So anticipation, not so much a prize for me, but I do love a surprise. Like if I don't know it's coming, then I can't worry about it. Then I like it. So yeah, give me the mystery box. I like a mystery box. Plus, I mean, I know what the prize is, and I really want it for myself. But I'm gonna give it away to use because I like this tournament, and I guess you two are all right as well. I guess me.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know if there's anything more to say there. Oh. So this is actually, I suppose this is one of the things that if you've never done tour organizing or been a content creator, it's a very weird idea, as we are getting ready for our next round of play, which is we're about to start shortly, that you get a lot of stuff coming through your hands which you really want for yourself, but you kind of need to not emotionally attach yourself to it, because you're like, no, it's not mine, it was never mine. I'm merely a curator of this experience for somebody else. I don't know, Maisie, if you can speak to that particular unique pain.
My brain is Swiss cheese this morning, Coder. I'm not gonna lie. I missed some of that point, but I hope you're having a great day.
Shika, I don't know I don't know if you've had this experience. I hope either the Swiss cheese or the loss of prizes. I don't know. I guess we're completely done here. Also, welcome to Kafuzzles, of course. Fuzzy Fuzzy, the UK king. Welcome very much to the stream, and Dovey as well. Lovely to have you all on. We'll be getting started shortly. Hopefully my co-casters will recover themselves, because
I'm fine.
of course,
I'm good.
Oh, no,
we're nothing if not dignified here at the Counter Casual competition.
I can't spell that. Nope.
Oh, okay, no, we're definitely not. All right, quick, let's look at the previous lobby again. There we go. Here's a conversation topic that's not about anything which Brewers have talked about. Invokers, Sigma player, managed to bust out a 3rd place with those. I think if we zoom in proper, we might be able to just about figure out what's coming through there. Combat Caster, I think, one of the ones in there. Jacob, Maisie, where are you with Invokers right now, if you've recovered enough to speak?
Yeah, I can speak. I got words. I really enjoy the Karma reroll line. This was something that I would gravitate towards quite fondly in set 9. So seeing that 3-star Karma there, seeing those beautifully tanky, the inclusion of Nico in this comp means that there is that beautiful front line, so the Karma can really get in the back line. I don't love the Karma items, but it's clearly done great for Sigma player here, because getting a 3rd in a lobby where we got them legendary lasagnas, what I was talking about, is really impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
Please.
I was just going to say, I personally am a big enjoyer of the Invoker lineup. I think Karma offers a lot to the team and has done since the beginning of set 9. And I think that the sheer amount of area control she provides to a board to just deal with multiple threats at once is absolutely insane.
Let's see. Oh, okay. It's apparently we're having a little bit of a technical issue, so again, apologies for anyone who is watching right now. It looks like we're going to be starting the next round on 50, so in 90 minutes time, so we'll have a little bit more of our glorious cells to spend time with before that happens. Apologies. Avan Wet Noodles is doing his very best to fix what has fallen over behind the scenes. There's always stuff falling over, of course. Maisie, we know this. That's the secret of all esports, which is that everything is always on fire. It's merely about how much we can smile in front of that burning building that keeps things going.
Absolutely no. If you've ever seen that meme of the dog sipping tea in a burning building going, this is fine. That's currently all 3 of us right now, but we're blessed to have you here. Now, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time to give us some filler here. Now, if you don't know me or aren't familiar with me, then I'm a streamer, which means when it comes to casting, I can waffle a hell of a lot of crap. So, I just had a penguin chocolate biscuit on the break, and it's got a joke on it. So, shall we have a small penguin joke segment?
All right, Maisie, I will ask you to leave some time in here for the chat to come up with their own answer once you give the question.
Oh, absolutely. If you can make chat visible to me, then I want to get some of the I want to see some of the replies. Now, if you're not familiar, in the UK, we have these chocolate biscuits. They're called penguins. You like to pick up a penguin, and on the back there is really awful dad jokes. Now, I say dad jokes. I think like dad jokes on steroids, but about penguins. So I would like you to all brace yourself and get your best joke hats on, because we're doing a new not sponsored segment with penguins.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, chat, what's a penguin's favorite dog?
What's a penguin's favorite dog? I'll put that in the chat. What's a penguin's favorite dog? So, Chica, as to how we approach this is a real sort of a. We're getting some answers in here already, but I think in terms of philosophically, Chica, as an analyst by trade, how would you approach a conundrum like this?
What is it? What is the penguin's favorite dog?
Yeah, well, break it down for me. What's your thought process coming into this? How are you trying to attack it from different angles?
Realistically speaking, what dogs is a penguin gonna have any kind of interaction? The answer, 9 times out of 10, is gonna be a husky. So that's
Hmm?
the obvious answer right there and then. It's not likely. I mean, sure, you've got penguins in some zoos, so you could look at something more domesticated, things like Labradors, Retrievers, poodles, corgis, that kind of vein. But realistically, it's going to be the huskies and that breed, that kind of subsect of breeds that are more acclimatized to colder environments, so have much fluffier coats, have much easier time traversing through snow. The answer, realistically, is it's none of that because it's a joke. But analytically speaking, that would be where I would go. Is one of the more domesticated breeds, or one of the cold environment breeds at a
No,
baseline.
Zika, I feel like there's a cardinal error in here, which is you haven't considered the meta that this situation is existing in. Bear in mind that this is going to be a dad joke, so we need to make sure that that's the lens we're seeing this through, rather than necessarily what is most factually correct in a vacuum.
Then the answer is just whichever dog has the closest thing to ice, cold, frozen in its name. And I think we've had a couple of those sent forwards already. So
Alright, from Hydropat we've got a Dalmatian, I guess just choosing a random dog from there. Does at least is white with, I suppose it's slightly icy. Bichon Frise, I assume it's a pun on a dog name. So
Bichon Frise.
oh, is that cleverer than I thought it was?
Oh,
I'm not very
Bichon
good at...
Frise is a type of dog, yeah. And also, I do know for a fact Key Dimensional is my double up partner. I see you in here. She is from the UK, so she definitely knows the kind of vein that these penguin jokes are in. And when I reveal the answer, it's gonna be really bad.
Is Key Dimensional has already come up with a much cleverer answer than the Penguin Company did?
Well, she is a doctor. And it turns out she's got a doctorate in dad jokes because a penguin's favorite dog is a Bichon Frise.
Oh
And
my
that's
gosh!
this segment
Wait,
reveals.
Key Dimensional, did you guess that? Or was... That's so much more sophisticated of an answer than I would have expected.
I eat a lot of penguins, so actually I have a lot of dad jokes here, so we can do
We
this
have
all
time
day.
to kill.
We can do this all day! Penguin
Ah.
segment, all sponsored.
Thank you to everyone else for your answers, especially Hydropat's dog in a penguin suit. I think that's a pretty good attempt.
It's dad dog.
A dying Hydra who, again, Zika, was on the same sort of mindset of you, of a Chihuahua, small so they can carry them on their feet, which is, of course, a wonderful mental image.
Oh, I love that! This is it. So the stream has gone a little wide. There is tech issues. What we could do is we could talk about the previous lobbies until we're blue in the face and you're all like, if you say a 0 one more time, I swear I'm gonna leave the stream. But instead we've just gone for this very cringe dad joke penguin section. So I'm just treating this like a stream now, and I'm ad-libbing that way. So I'm glad I could provide this course to you all on this beautiful Saturday morning.
Well, let's... as saying, we're doing the... we're almost doing, like, people's LOL chess reviews now. Let's go and... We have actually got one fresh lobby, which we haven't talked about as of yet, which is going to be Broche, who managed to take a first place. Actually, I'm going to make sure that you can actually see this. With a 3-star Aphelios, of all things.
Random thought. How is Hydropat in this lobby as well?
I don't know. Maybe I took this from the wrong round. Wait, there's only been one round?
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What?
Hydropat, I just want to say it is against tournament rules to clone yourself and play 2 accounts at once. You'll be hearing from our lawyers.
Oh, it's from the last tournament. Okay. Okay. That makes a bit more sense. Sorry, so there's a very clever filing system in place for all of the results, and apparently I could not figure it out in a hurry, so...
Oh yeah, okay. But now there's a lot being thrown at us. It's like this is gone, that's gone, everything's gone.
Look, I need to hide my shame! This never happened, is the important thing. I just want...
Never.
I mean, why don't we do another penguin joke? Let's see, what's this one? Oh, this is awful. Okay. Why don't penguins like rock music?
Why don't penguins like rock music? Okay, so, Shika, we're back on the analyst desk. The game is on pause. The play at stake Why don't penguins like rock music?
Because it's the best kind of icebreaker.
That feels like the answer to a different joke, but it would work.
Probably. Too loud. At last, if memory serves correctly, penguins have quite sensitive ears. If we're going down the dad joke vein again, I don't know.
They don't like rock and rolling down glaciers? I don't know.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll see if we get any answers here. So Pills, again, apologies for everyone. We are on a fairly substantial delay. There seems to be a problem with the sheet at the moment. I think there's been some changes recently which have caused it to not work the way it should be. But I believe our lobbies are starting right now, so... Maisie, would you mind furnishing us with the information we need to live a complete and wholesome life? Why do penguins not like rock music?
I'm so sorry, but it's because they only like soul.
They like what?
Soul.
Soul. It's a type
Soul?
of fish, but also soul music. If you have to explain it, it's not funny. Let's go to the game.
I don't get how that relates to penguins at all. My brain is...
Soul music, maybe? Oh, soul is a type of fish. These penguin jokes, they're requiring... Okay, so the first joke required us to know a really specific type of dog breed that I don't think I've ever heard of before. And now soul is apparently a fish type, and I didn't know that either. So I think we're just getting exposed here on this stream.
I'm so sorry. I was trying to ad-lib. We were behind. It was a penguin joke. I hate a penguin. I'm so sorry.
We are definitely out of the loop here, I think.
All right, quick, let's pretend none of that ever happened. Again, please do also let me know about the sound balancing here, since we're having a few problems with that today. So we're going to still be working on that probably the whole way through to try and get everyone's sound to where it should be. But we are into, finally, round number 2. We're back here with Pills. Impar Lofty, I think, is streaming the wrong screen. Squamples and Ramboing. So we've got 3 POVs, but hopefully we'll have 4 longer term. Let's get started and check out our initial portals.
So we are looking at Zoom Zone, Palace, and Placidium. And it looks like it's going to be the Zoom Zone, which, if memory serves, is XP when you buy XP.
That is correct. No Rat Town available for our players, but Pill's looking exceptionally happy with Yugi Zoom Zone. I wonder if he's cooking up one of these legendary lasagnas we're talking about, or maybe he's just having a real good day. Who knows? We'll find out.
Well, I mean, we certainly saw him last game managing to pull Piltover all the way to Piltover 7 without the use of an emblem. So I think it's very much in the wheelhouse as he gets dropped immediately a Karma and a Misfortune. I mean, given how last game went, Chica, do you want to go down Bilgewater again?
I think it's an option. I think if you can get that high rolling going again, it's definitely an option. But is looking like more inclined towards these invokers. That Karma, as we mentioned earlier, a very strong starting carry that you can pivot different ways, right? You can take it to different places, but generally speaking, it's going to last you the majority of the game. And you can quite happily just sit there and say, okay, this is who's carrying me today. This is the unit I'm going to use to completely wipe the board out. And it made, what? It made 3rd in 2 Legendary Lasagna, in a lobby with 2 Legendary Lasagnas. So definitely could be a strong opening option, given the fact you've been given so many invokers this early on.
Yeah, I mean, all Pils would really need to do here to do a very, very solid start would be to find one of those Gallios that we hear so much about. Demacia might be the only place he's ever been, but I think Pills is hoping he visits his board real soon.
Alright, well, we've got one player in place. It will be Aurelion Sol, so my mistake, I thought Pills wasn't running Aurelion Sol before, but absolutely will be. Silver means it's cutting corners as an option. Silver Spoon would be very powerful as well. And we've even got we've got some actually pretty powerful augments on display for us multiple players here.
Yeah, that cutting corners with Yumi's Zoom Zone compounding together means that no, Pills is certainly looking for an incredibly fast game here.
Kept in with Squampy. The Blood Money is one of those powerful silver augments. Jacob, I think it feels like, as much as people kind of run down a lot of the silver ornaments, I actually kind of like where we are with them at the moment. That they are kind of arguably sometimes very powerful, but just very directed in what they're getting you to do.
They are nicely balanced, so their strength comes in as is expected. So, you know, we have a lot of XP augments. It just means you don't have to spend as much gold, which means you can, you know, you can get your comps online a little bit better with the money there. They're very cut and dry, but they're balanced to a point where they're not super strong or super weak. They're never going to be the reason you win. They're never going to be the reason you.
So Squompy has the blood money. Ramboing has the random emblem and got an incredible high roll here, the Void emblem from the beginning of the game, and had some bruises to put together an early ball. Amazing, we were talking about before that this is a comp that has absolutely been riding high right now.
Yeah, I love the Void. I love the Void in its many forms, but getting the +1 early means that getting that Baron on board is going to be something possible. Even with the way emblem crafting has changed in this set, you still cannot craft a Void emblem. So to get a random one here with branching out is incredibly fortuitous for Ramboing here today. So gonna hopefully see some more Void units picked up, and then maybe we can go that huge Void vertical. Not seeing too much vertical gameplay yet, so excited to see the Baron. That Reforger is still available though for Ramboing, so if he decided that did not want to go the Void, then that can easily be reforged into some unknown unknown there, but I certainly would stick with the Void if it was me, because I like Void.
You don't like to avoid it, is what I'm getting.
Hey, dad joke.
There we go. We're all penguin bars on this glorious day. So Squomples, we haven't actually looked at what board there is in place yet. It's actually found some pretty interesting stuff. Ixtal from the very beginning. I don't know if anyone who's in this lobby can let us know which Ixtal we're on. Oh no, of course we're on the ice one. It actually has an effect. Lovely.
Yes.
Squompy really showing us the power of ice being nice here. The penguin jokes clearly got to them in the middle of the games there, and the ice is in play. Now we're seeing that Ixtal there, of course, being one of our new traits that are online. And every game there's going to be a different elemental hex on display. So here we have ice. First time each empowered champions were just below 30% health. They are encased in protective ice, and of course, for a Bastion like Neeko with Bastion in play, that's going to be one heck of a front line, even at a 1-star.
Yeah, I really like what we've got going on there. Especially being able to dance that aggro around with a little bit of those invincibility frames. Let's check back in with Pills, though. It looks like Ixtal is proving to be very popular right now. Chica, I don't know if you've got a particular favourite Ixtal you prefer to play around.
I mean, you've got the 3 base Ixtal, which are what, Neeko, Qiyana, and Emilio, and honestly, none of them feel super like you can't really play around any of them super easily. I think if you're gonna pick one, it'll be Qiyana. She feels like the one to do the damage. Emilio feels relatively underpowered, and Neeko is just a tank, like she has been for so many sets in the past. So if I was going to play around any of them, I'd play around Qiyana, but I think they all just have such niche situations that they can be like played around in, that it could be difficult to hard commit to any one of them in any given situation.
Yeah, I think we see with the Rogue reroll comp that seems to be proven pretty popular in the meta right now. It does tend to utilize all 3 Ixtal units. Now, whether it's the ice one that we're seeing here, or we are on stone, which provides immunity from CC protection, having these extra sort of support hexes and support units to support the team. I said support like 7 times. But it is something that proves really helpful, and it does take me back to set 2 a little bit, and I do feel kind of nostalgic when I see it on board, so happy to see it being utilized here.
Alright, let's scoot around. Impar Lofty, unfortunately, I don't think the message has quite gotten through, sadly, for them. So we'll just have to do without their POV for the remainder of this one. But we've still got three. Still got three people. So let's keep ourselves up to date. So Ramboing, we mentioned before as the Void player. So didn't do what we suggested could be a possibility, and actually re-rolled this this Emblem Maisie, but also hasn't gone into Void at all as of yet.
No, I mean, the ability is there. We are seeing the Malzahar sitting on the bench. We do have the Void, and we have the Cho'Gath on there as well. So 3 Void, definitely a possibility, but maybe not where Ramboing's looking to go. He's kind of playing this just now as just strongest board, getting as many 2 stars on the board as possible. And just having some synergy there. So a Bruiser 3, Bastion 2, and the Void available, but just not out there yet. I'm not sure what Ramboing's playing for here, but right now, fostering a little lost streak.
Yeah, so I mean, I can kind of speak to Rambo's thinking process here. Only started playing TFT again last night, so probably just thinking I can do something here. Not entirely sure the best way to go about it, but I mean, going for a lost streak where you find the units you want isn't necessarily a bad idea, especially if you're running something like Void, where a lot of your units are 3-4 cost. It can give you a lot more room to kind of get yourself to a extremely strong point once you are comfortable with the units you've managed to.
Yeah, I mean, it does make a lot of sense. We know that one of the big problems for Void is always going to be getting up to the point where you can get that Bel'Veth in. That takes a lot of money to get levels. It takes a lot of money to get her up to 2-star as well. I mean, Ramboing is putting everything into making sure this lost streak stays in place by not putting anything from the item bench on the board at all.
Yeah, that's one congested looking item bench. But now that we've had our PvE round, we're going to throw the Void in now. So we have the Sorcerer with Malzahar. We have a lot of brews. We have a lot of beef. Still not fully playing the best board possible. We do have Silco there that we could complement with, maybe over that little Renekton, but just playing to be a little stronger, but not necessarily strongest board. Now, someone that is playing strongest board here is Shaper. We have that 5 Demacia online already, and that Quinn has a Radiant Deathblade and an IE, meaning that she's going to be incredibly potent, even as a 1-star unit.
So, Zika, you were talking before about how much you were enjoying Demacia at the moment. It seems like, I mean, honestly, I hadn't even clocked that this was how strong this competition was right now, but in this lobby, it seems to be doing very well indeed.
With how strong Quinn is currently, it's definitely one of those, if you can get it, you should, options, because Quinn will do you so much work. Problem is, when it gets contested, that's when things get worrying, because you need this Quinn so much. Because it is so much of your strength.
Yeah, not hitting that Quinn 3 in the late game can be pretty devastating with the way that these boards are capping out in Horizon Bound just now. The Quinn 3 has that extra livability with all the HP, and is usually itemized up to the 9s as well. So really, if you're playing this comp, a 2-star Quinn isn't really sufficient, and players are looking to get 3-star Quinn, which is, of course, terrible if contested. But it looks like there's a pretty free stretch here at that Demacian run for our player there.
Check back in with Pills, who is pushing for levels, has so far been taking exclusively the Aurelion Assault augments to try and push up into the XP band, so hasn't managed to put together a hugely powerful board as of yet, but has at least got some Invokers brewing here. I don't think anything that's going to soften loss too much, but at least it's not a completely open form.
Yeah, something that was really interesting about Pills there as well is the Ishtal Heart was offered there as a second augment, but has instead decided to go, directly into Aurelion Sol augment. So maybe Pills is just looking to the future on this occasion. Actually, Pills is AFK currently, so... there he is! Welcome back!
Oh my gosh, we thought it was all a plan, we didn't look at the camera. That's astonishing stuff, but hey. It's working relatively well. Let's keep on scooting around and see what else we got. So Squampy, I believe our second, if at least Demacia player in the lobby, has managed to put together an interesting set of items on the Fiora, presumably a temporary measure, but one that I wonder if could actually do relatively well.
I mean, it looks to be that Squampy is looking to build this sort of karma reroll line just by the units on the board, but instead has found that early Fiora, so we'll hold the items for now. Not necessarily the best Fiora items in the world. This is just a tribute, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, getting a Fiora at this point in the game, definitely terrifying prospect in and of itself. The sheer amount of damage that she's going to be able to output onto single target, it's going to be insane. And when you've got the likes of the Galio and the Taric making sure that the aggro isn't immediately onto this Fiora, definitely quite strong. I mean, we now kind of see how Melio is just sad on his own, can't really do much of anything. This unit feels very weak compared to a lot of the others.
Get on to our
Melio-
next carousel. Just want to point out before we get back into the conversation, Sharper on the win streak right now, so far undefeated in the lobby, while Rambling on the other end, down below 50 HP at the stage 3 carousel.
Yeah, Rambo is the player we were looking at having a bit of a loss streak with that Void emblem on board. We will no doubt check back with him real soon. Yeah, let's oh, he's already back on his board, having a little look. How are we gonna rescue this? We have the Void Slammed, we have the 3-star Renekton, which is a little confusing to me. That doesn't point me in the direction of the Void here, but you know, maybe that Void emblem goes on the Renekton. I actually really like Rambo and stream title here, which is just woke up at 5:30 a.m. for a tournament.
Another
So,
one of
yeah.
our NA players.
Yep. You know, bless the NA players. They are very much a foundational part of this tournament, and we very much appreciate you both getting up early to play and streaming it for us, because without the streamers, this tournament would simply not be possible for us to broadcast.
I mean, this is a demonstration of Lawrence's power in the space. He can persuade people to get up at this time to play. So, yeah, thank you to Lawrence and the Aegis crew for coming along very, very early on. I like this from Rambling though. We're talking about developing this board out a little bit further. I mean, while we don't have the 3-star Cho'Gath, which is a bit unfortunate, there's still a possibility of, you know, itemizing out the Renekton, sorry, not Renekton, the Rek'Sai. Too many R's and K's in the name. Having the Rek'Sai on board would certainly make Rambling take a few less losses.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, slowly working their way up to Void 6, having that Herald up open and available to as well could be very, very helpful. Just have to see how the cookie crumbles from here on out. Still only sitting on level 5, coming into the last PvP round of stage 3.
Well, Maisie, something I wanted to raise you here because you were the one who pointed out originally. We were talking about how Rambling was loss streaking really hard before, presumably looking towards a late game. But now we're at a point where Rambling is on 36 HP, presumably wants to be hitting like level 8, level 9, and has almost no gold in the bank whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fine observation to make, but it's bad as well because Rambling's loss streak has been ended, so there's going to be less gold coming in. Seems like there's a little bit of a stalemate here. It looks like perhaps Rambling was going for these 3-star 1-cost units, and that's why he stayed so low for so long. But the wins are coming out now. There maybe is just enough power. But with 36 HP, there needs to be something major here.
That return on investment, I think one of the reasons why Rambling had stayed and rerolled a lot more. So it's got the extra body on the board, but it does feel a little bit like, you know, we're kind of pulling in two different directions here, you know, to have a lot, you know, to star up our low cost units, but also be trying to push high levels and get that Baron online.
Well, I mean, it's good if you hit it. Sometimes the game just gives you, like, you know, 9 kill for free, and the shop just really wants you to have them, but it does look like there's been a lot of rolling happening here, so maybe not the outcome that he'd first anticipated, but we're getting a lot of items. We're getting some eco here. The eco's already back up at 19, and Rambling's maybe just looking to make a little win streak and get that gold back. No, we're rolling. I take it all back. I say something, I'm immediately wrong. That's me.
So, I don't think we're looking at the intention of a vertical void here. I think this was a void bruiser setup from the start, hence staying low for so long, going for the hyper rolling. One of the more popular comps that I've been seeing personally is this void bruiser setup because of the sheer amount of health that you get from like investing really heavily into bruiser. And that also explains, you know, the Vi and the Renekton still being on this board.
All right, no, it certainly makes a lot more sense whenever I was trying to put together in my head. Unfortunately, yeah, it seems like we maybe spent such a long time getting the lower end of this going together. The Rek'Sai might come a little bit too late. I mean, you can see the Ramboing is, I think, really hoping to put together some wins here, and is, I think, now will at least very excited to have that happen and get some money back in the bank.
I can't get loud. This is fantastic. I almost just want to watch Rambling stream here because there's some production value here. I have to stress right there that we did not put this in. This is Rambling's live production in action.
Oh my gosh!
As if the proof was in the pudding. It's now gone small. It's not us, I promise.
Let's keep scooting around though and check in with Pills42.
Good Lord.
So we noticed that Pills was trying to play towards late game boards from the very beginning of this game. Every single augment has been to get more XP in his pocket, and it's finally starting to pay off.
Now it looks as if Pills is trying to do something a little cheeky and sneaky here. Could that Goldenator possibly be going on the Heimerdinger? Are we going to see this triple Goldenator Heimerdinger that's generated so much eco for players through set 9 popping up in set 9.5?
It's definitely a possibility, especially when you consider you do have that ability to go to level 10, have that extra unit over the rest of the board, already sitting on 3 more units than most players at this point in the game. Could just look to go to 10 and completely fill out this board.
My hesitation here is, I don't think there's a bigger win more unit than triple Goldenator Heimer turret. You know, if you're winning your rounds comfortably, you can get paid off in like, 20 gold per round or something crazy. But it won't help you necessarily win those rounds which you can't otherwise win. And Pills is on very low health indeed.
Oh yeah, 14 HP available just as we're about to come to stage 4 carousel is a little scary. And whilst there are a lot of units, they are mostly 1 star here, but the 2-star Shen in the front line, really, really great here for holding on. We do have a dual gauntlet as well sitting on the bench that's not being utilized. Seems to be a little bit of confusion, but we're going to do a big board sell here. The Scion goes in. We're 2 units down. I guess it's an Orianna and a random Heimerdinger placed by the board. So we'll see how this one goes, but it's looking a little spotty for Pills.
And opting to completely remove Ishtal from the lineup there, just going for these higher cost units, really subscribing to this legendary lasagna idea. My question, is it really going to help that much? I mean, until you can start getting some star levels on these carries, it could be futile.
Yeah,
definitely feels.
Sorry.
No, please, Mazzy.
I was gonna say we're not gonna see Goldenator come out. We've gone for Shrink module over Goldenator, so you're right there, countering your point that looking for a little utility to try and win rather than snowball with gold here, but on 2 HP. A little bit spooky.
Do or die.
There needs to be something on this carousel that changes the fortunes of Pills. Maybe thing the rod to turn that into a Ginsu's, but nope. Assassin swoops in and steals that one away. So Pills instead grabs hold of the belt, maybe looking to force that front line to play a little bit more strongly and give more time for the back line to do its work.
Yeah, I think I guess we'll probably stick with Pills in this round just to see if picking up I think that was a Giant's Belt, just to see if picking that up is going to be enough to save him here. And we have the Aatrox in the shop. He has favor in the Ledger Lasagna, but can he afford to take out the Alawi and just have a team of 1 stars and a Shen? Oh, double Nashor to Thonger. Maybe not gonna be the strength he was looking for off that carousel. We got the Scion in. Gonna reject the Aatrox, and we're really just gonna try and see. I mean, this is like a legendary. This is like a diet lasagna. Diet legendary lasagna.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's looking pretty skinny right now. As up against Swamp, who's also level 9, but does have that Martyr for a little bit more board strength. Ahri's definitely a 3-item Ahri seems like a much more reliable carry, and we've also got the Bilgewater coming in with the cannon as well. I think Pills is staring down a dark mirror of what his board was. He was hoping his board would be.
Oh, It's always the worst when you are trying so hard to get that win and then you run into your comp, but better. And unfortunately, it's going to be death by cutscene for Pillows, who's going to be exploded down by Devil Teemo out in 8th.
Valiant effort for the legendary lasagna there. Scompy just doing that a little bit better, getting that little bit of a higher roll, and managing to find slightly more of the units that you would want. It's now on Scompy to carry that legendary lasagna legacy to the top of the board, but again, we're seeing quite a big divide in top 2 and the rest of the board.
Gosh, what a great turn of phrase.
Something I think that's really important to note here as well is with Yuumi Zoom Zone and multiple Aurelion Sol players in this lobby, players are pressured to go to the higher levels and maybe not necessarily start up their units. So you're seeing that are some of our players that are doing better have stayed a little lower and focused instead on starting up the units. So yeah, the pressure is really very much on players to go high, but staying low has its benefits too, as we can see in this lobby.
Oh, you're right. I mean, we've had that elimination of Pills. Now Habibi is potentially going out in this round as well. So,
Death by cutscene.
I mean, we're getting this Teemo absolutely going around and wrecking absolutely everybody. Scompy is a menace in this lobby. We're down to our top 6, at least Ramboing with a couple of lives left to play with.
Did not go out last. Lived up to the plan. The Void Bruiser roster now starting to get quite strong.
Yeah, I mean, I see it time and time again. I have to stop referring to comps with a lot of health as beef, but I refuse. I'm clearly someone that thinks about food a lot because legendary lasagna and beef are definitely words that are in my vocabulary that shouldn't be.
I don't know. I think this is a fairly accurate description of what we've got on the line here. As Ramboing does actually find some decent itemization to bring the Rek'Sai up to fully 3 items. The only problem, of course, being, as we mentioned before, the Rek'Sais have not been arriving for Ramboing this game in the numbers they need to be to really make this board sing.
Yeah, that's quite true. Not seeing too many players maybe on that Slayer or Bruiser line, so not being able to find the Rek'Sai is maybe just down to spending a little bit more time at the lower levels like we talked about. Once again, you know, the pressure of Yuumi Zoom Zone of getting to 9, so actually we're going to see that in action now. What is stronger, going 9 fast with your 1-star units or building out a big beefy 3-star brawler team?
So far, the front line is holding. I think one of the other problems we've got here for this Bruiser board is that the back line isn't too much a shake. See, I would have loved to have seen some sort of Guinsoo's or similar on the back line just to build up a threat longer term. Because right now, it's just Bruisers or absolutely nothing.
I guess Malzahar not really got much damage at all to try and cut through some of the higher cost units on Squampy's board, just narrowly avoiding another death by cutscene.
Yeah, Squampy very much the assassin of players in this lobby. I imagine there's quite a few people in the lobby just now who do not want to run into the Squamples.
2-star Aatrox, 2-star Jarvan joining the field. Scompy, I don't think it's going to be slowing down anytime soon. So I think, we'll look at Scompy from Pills' point of view as well. So from Ramboing, we've got Assassin and Ramboing both on a single life as of this round. We do have a couple more Rek'Sais coming in, but it may all be too little too late as our 2 single-digit HP players go up face to face.
Yeah, we're going to have a showdown in this round. Now, the Rek'Sai is going to be a little bit more useful here with the armor penetration, but she's down already. This is Azir in the backline is doing a lot of damage, but is going to be down to the Renekton. Can he spin to win and knock that Azir down? The Azir saying no, that Nashor's Tooth is just powerful. Attack speed is going, and it's Malzahar versus Silco at the end. Now, there's going to be some healing coming out on the Silco.
Oh!
Not enough! Rambo is absolutely ecstatic as he manages to survive one more round, one more placement. Let's go.
Let's take it. With us all being from the UK, I think we're not as familiar with these more excited forms of celebration. I love having some of our NA players in here who are much more willing to show exactly how they feel.
Yeah, it's definitely entertaining. I mean, I sat down for a little bit with Rambo last night to run over the basics of TFT. He kind of came to me and said, "Right, well, what do you do? How work?" So I mean, to see this kind of comp come out, this is something that I personally was never a huge fan of, but making it work in such a way when you're in a lobby with people who are just like forcing higher levels, it's refreshing. But this Fiora could just end that all here, and now bashing away on the Malzahar, it's Renekton Sejuani versus the world, it would seem. Never mind, there's an Nasus and a Vi on the backline that I meant. No, there's not. The Kai'Sa came in. That's the end of Rambo's story.
Oh my gosh, the highs and the low, Maisie, in very short order.
Yeah, it's actually, I really like hearing some player backstory, so thank you, Shika, for sharing that with us. Rambo is a player with a lot of personality, and I don't know if that comes from NA or it's just he's a naturally zesty fella. But yeah, no, out in fifth here is decent when you consider it's probably like 7 a.m. where he's at right now, and whether whether that's a stayed up all night angle or a got up early angle, that's very, very admirable. Especially with some of these players that we see time and time again do well in this tournament.
Yeah, so I can attest it was a get up early angle. The personality is always there. I mean, I know Rambo, League of Legends, play by play. I've worked with him a couple of times in the past,
cool.
so I can attest to his personality. Definitely someone who is very excitable a lot of the time.
Couldn't be me.
Honestly,
no, I'm a nightmare.
I honestly, I wish I had the ability to access that on a day-to-day basis, but sadly, I'll have to leave it in Rambo's hands. In this lobby, though, Squampy, we've been noticing, of course, that legendary suit board has been, or legendary Lasagna has been coming online very strongly, but Sun Tactician, currently on a win streak. I think this is going to be a very tough top 4.
The Assassinator, the assassin almost becomes the assassinated there with Empire Lofty going down in 4th and Swampy on 1 HP remaining. Sun Tactician is an absolute gargantuan weapon in this lobby. It's not a board that we have spent too much time on, but those Invokers really coming out strong for him.
That's a terrifying Ahri. Just saying, for Sun Tactician, that is an absolutely terrifying Ahri.
Oh yeah. Going full damage. I also love for Sun having the Virulent Bioware on our friend Silco, who's doing massive AoE, so whenever he's damaging anything, putting a damage amplification on those targets is very scary indeed. As Squampy may be up to his final game, the 2-star Gangplank has been brought in. I think Squampy will have to be satisfied with top 3.
It is incredibly rude to throw bolts at people, but Gangplank doesn't care. He does it anyway.
There's 2 Gangplanks throwing boats at each other. It's all out nautical warfare.
Yeah, Maisie, I obviously missed that day in etiquette class because I was too busy out there throwing boats at people.
Oh, it's so rude, actually, and especially, on a Saturday morning, is especially rude in the United Kingdom to throw a boat at someone. So Gangplank really disrespecting both boards and classic British etiquette right now.
But Maisie, it's no longer morning. It's 22 minutes past 12. It is the afternoon.
Oh my lord!
Fine?
Then you must throw the boat.
All right. Well, apparently we've been told. I like as well that Sharp has done something we don't see that many people do, which is put the Gangplank actually up in the front line where he'll be doing more damage and presumably also getting a fair amount of mana just from actually getting hits early on rather than sitting at the back and just plinking away.
Oh, we're seeing some mouse waving coming in there from Pills. I think he's criticizing the Silco not quite being 2-star yet, but we're 1 off the Taric 3, and that's gonna be a really tanky boy if we manage to hit.
I do believe that I was going to say something, and it's completely... Yeah, I do believe that this Gangplank actually does better up in this front line because of what its ability allows him to do. As a frontliner, this idea of applying a true damage burn over just gaining the little bit of extra range, a little bit of extra mana, it does make a difference, especially against some of these beefier frontline units. I mean, we look at Sun Tactician's board. You're sitting at quite a beefy frontline, so that true damage really gonna make a difference.
Oh, just, let's see. Raikara should have stayed in lobby 1 after you died. Oh, it's very much appreciated if you do. It's definitely not mandatory in any way, but it helps us to have a PV on the remaining players. Again, we very much appreciate anybody who streams because there is no spectator mode, so we're completely reliant on that to be able to see the end of rounds. But, I mean, this one looks... While we've got a lot of HP for Sharper and Sun Tactician, Sharper does have the level advantage, so you think on paper at least, Sharper should have a pretty major push forward to the end game.
Yeah, you'd think, and actually it's coming to fruition somewhat. Well, I of course I say that and Sharper loses, but Sun Tactician was streaking for so much of that lobby, sitting up at nearly 70 HP before we went into these 1v1s, and Sharper's managed to time and time again get some health chipped off, but we did see Sun Tactician in the previous round level up to Taric 3 and Silco 2, which has been a real power spike here.
So Jacob, I remember you were talking before about the positioning, for these kind of comps here. Imagining we're seeing quite a lot of our damage coming in from the Fiora for Sharper's board. What do you think about the way that Sharper's got this laid out set up?
I like having the Fiora that one step back. It's not the immediate target, so it gives it the chance to get its ability off, get some damage down. The problem is this Silco is doing so much work onto this front line that it's really, really difficult to ever be in a position where this Fiora isn't just going to immediately lose 2/3 of its health the first time it stands in that cask explosion range, because the damage over time is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start looking back at some of these lobby results here, because these players are absolutely showing me everything I'm not doing right now in the early set, and it's scary as anything. For Sharper, I do wonder if maybe we might see that Fiora being moved to an extreme edge to try and avoid the Silco, because the front line is melting almost immediately.
Yeah, that Fiora is really going to want to get the stacks up there. We've got double Titans on Fiora, so, Sharper is really going to want to be getting that stacked up and not immediately burst down so that maybe she can withstand some of that Silco damage in the late game.
I do want to take a second just to recognize the little whisper that Pills has got in the top left-hand corner. It's always great to have someone cheering you on when you're coming into a tournament game.
Oh, there we go. That Fiora does get put on an extreme edge and in the second row, but Silco still manages to find her a sniper focus on the enemy carry there, and it's gonna be a win there. Sharp is gonna go down, and Sun Tactician manages to solidify the win. GG.
GGWP. So that's going to be... I'm just going to double check, actually. I believe we're around table 4 in that last lobby. So Sun Tactician going to be able to make a big leap up into our final round. Again, for anyone who hasn't played with us before, we will be doing things in a Swiss style, which means if you do well in your first lobby, you will then get pumped up the standings to have a harder lobby in round 2. And if you do well again, then you can find your way all the way to table 1 in the last round, which could potentially get you one of those guaranteed first or second place prizes. Woo!
Yeah, we got the first or second place prizes, and of course winning today is going to give you extra weight when it comes to our secret prize today. So players really going to want to push. As much as this is a for fun and casual tournament, we got some extra incentive to do well today, and that's all I'm saying.
I'm going to see if I can grab us a POV from the top lobby. I'm not sure if they are done yet. And I think we've got one of our lobbies that's running a little bit behind. So with that in mind, I think we've got... Oh, so Nora is still playing. So I'm going to bring us back into lobby 1, because these could well be players we will be seeing longer term as... Or rather, in our next round, fighting for first place.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of HP remaining in this lobby, so this will be one of our delayed lobbies, which means we get more TFT to catch. This is basically a free round 4 for those watching at home.
We've got a lot of people left up and still playing, actually. I'm going to see if we can maybe find any more POVs, because this lobby is still ongoing. Nora in 3rd place right now with Sigma Player and Razmipa above. We're seeing, we're seeing here from Susky the very classic approach to Bilge Wars that perhaps we weren't expecting to see do well today.
Yep, but I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm seeing the Neela. I'm seeing the double rapid fire cannon. I'm absolutely terrified of it because that's a scary Neela. If you can get that to 2-star, that's terrifying. The thing's gonna melt through anything that it comes across and shield itself for double the amount.
I think it's fun as well to see Sust here. This is this is a name to say. Let me say, but it's exciting here to see that in both games we've seen Sust really favor this Ornn legend. So we've just gone triple Ornn,
Oh wow,
triple Ornn
yeah.
augment there as well. So lots and lots of extra items and utility here for the team.
We know this comp has definitely had some of the bites taken out of it. I mean, we've got nuffs pretty much across the board, but this is still a very good setup with a gold collector as well. When you're doing that much AoE damage, it's going to be hard not to proc it.
Yeah, we're already seeing it come into play. Those huge sweeps coming out with a double rapid fire mean that it's just it's payday here for Sust. But even if it's a loss, there's still lots of gold. We like gold.
Yeah, I'm curious if this... well, actually, no. I think we can more or less say with some authority on it that if we were still on the pre-hotfix patch, that this board would have absolutely rolled over that opposing board.
Yep. It looks like this is an interesting take on Vanquishers, actually. Just opting to go for the Xayah Neela as your dual carries. This is the typical kind of setup we would see for our normal Vanquishers, just with a bit of a Bilgewater spin on it. That Xayah not normally taking into these Bilgewater comps, so just giving the Neela a little bit more agency with those crits. But I think that we won't really see online until we hit that 2-star Neela.
Let's take a moment to congratulate Light Arrow, our only player, at least so far, and perhaps will be our only player at all, going into the final round completely undefeated, which is a very impressive feat indeed. For this lobby, though, it's looking very, very tightly contested as Lawrence does take a fairly heavy hit to the face. Still, though, we're at a relatively high lobby, so all credit to everybody playing here being able to keep up this level of play.
Yeah, we're at stage 4-3 and we're still seeing everybody in for now. Now, we aren't losing players too early in this tournament, but actually the HP totals are looking a little closer in this lobby than we've perhaps seen. We did talk previously about the top 4 and bottom 4 being very much separate in HP, but this lobby seems to be a lot closer.
Yeah, and it's a welcome surprise, honestly. Seeing the lobbies this close just means we're in that position where we could see a couple of upsets. We could see one of these lower health players shoot to the top just off of 1 or 2 bad rounds.
I'm going to see if I can get us a couple more POVs from this stream, so apologies if this turns out to not be working. We've got Prinny and Ducky, who might have viable streams. Let's find out. Whoop.
One
No.
is offline.
Nope.
One is ad.
All right, we'll chance it here on the off chance we might be able to see a little bit more of what's happening. But okay, I suppose we get to talk in a little bit more detail about the Bilgewater board. Something I'm noticing here is we've got we've obviously been praising the Neela for being very, very strong indeed, but we have got a 3-item Misfortune already online, even if she's only 1 star.
Yeah, the power of that Misfortune has been slightly nerfed with the hotfix that came out about 12 hours ago. But she's still, a 3-item unit is never anything to sniff at. And that Neela, she just could not get it done. The 2-star Kai'Sa, very, very strong with those items there for Tommen.
That was close. That was very close.
Oh, and again, we're seeing the power of this Silco. The team-wide healing that he can provide there was really, really enough to keep that front line alive against the Azir there. So, I really like Silco as a new unit, and I think he's kind of sleeper good,
Choking on air. I think the interesting thing about Silco is you can largely fit him into any composition because of the traits he's got. I mean, Invoker is really easy to slot in. Zorn, pretty easy to slot in. He can just kind of exist individually and be extremely... Not Invoker,
Yeah,
sorry, Sorcerer.
we're definitely having this conversation with a lot of people about Silco being such a great secondary carry where he does a lot of spread damage, softening up a lot of targets. And we saw in our previous game as well, if you can find a way to fit into Zorn, get that Virulent Bioware online, he's going to be a major, major damage threat that sets up your other carry to do the cleanup duties.
Oh, there we go. That 2-star Neela really been enough now to start to get some wins under the belt here. And I love the gold collector, like you were saying, counter there. Just that wide AoE execute can do to the team.
It does feel a little risky, I guess, in the situation. With RC's stacking being somewhat nerfed, if Sasuke doesn't manage to get people down low enough health, then that gold collector is not going to do anything for them at all. I do wonder, being that we've got almost no money in the bank, whether or not this board is going to remain viable longer term.
Does, but worth mentioning as well, 2 players have already gone out now. What looked to be a close lobby has kind of started to go downwards pretty quickly. I think we've lost 2 anyway, unless I'm going blind. I think they're grayed out. I can't really tell.
It's a little unfortunate placement there on the VTuber model. I think you are right, though. They do look like grayed out ones, and that leaves Deadly Ghost as our lowest HP player still alive, with Ducky just above them. We've got 3 players around about the same HP, so our players should be settling in for a longer fight.
Yeah, longer fight indeed. Now, the only player streaking right now is Ducky, sitting on 39 HP just now. So again, this lobby is almost too close to call. And we have seen a nice recovery here of Eco for Sush Business. I can't say that word. I'm trying real hard.
I was hoping you could say it, because I sure can't.
Sush.
No, I'm 30 years old, counter. Like, it's past me at this point.
Chica, can you save us here? Can you give us a primer in how one says things on the internet?
Sush business.
Sush.
Sasuke? I want to say Sasuke because I want to be a Naruto. What can I say?
I want to be a Naruto. Wise words from counter.
Are we not all Narutos on this blessed day?
Sure, I'll be Naruto. I should introduce myself as Naruto because I did forget my name at the start of the broadcast.
I feel like you merely kept us in suspense about your name for a little bit longer.
It was under me. I don't know how I missed that one, to be fair. But that's fine. Someone that's not messing up too bad. I was just wondering, do we have that other POV ready so we can pick apart?
Oh, we do.
Haha.
Oh, that's an incredibly cute duck. This is Battle of the VTubers.
What a treat.
Here we go.
So this is a Bastion Sorcerer board. So this is something which, again, there's so much stuff now with Bilgewater being nerfed that people are actually given the room in the game to play. It seems to be working relatively well, with the potential to go further with that much money in the bank.
Get this Silco up to that 2-star. This board could really start to come online. I mean, we saw it in our last lobby where it just starts to kind of melt through everything that you can throw at it with the damage over time. I'm very interested to see how it comes, especially because if I'm not mistaken, we have another Void Bruiser board in the game, and I believe that is being run by Deadly Ghost, if I caught their level ups properly earlier.
Ooh, that would be fascinating indeed. Now, Void is something that we did see play of in Set 9, but it's not been nearly as dominant as this tournament would have made out for. But yeah, I think you're right there, Sheikah, because we're seeing that was another Vel'Koz 2-star coming in from Deadly Ghost on the right side of the screen there as well. So maybe get a little look, but here we have Battle of the VTubers.
VTuber versus PNG Tuber as we go into the fight. The question is this Neela going to be enough to cut through this? Oh, there's a GP now as well. It's the entire board just kind of ruined for now. This Silco really is your saving grace, but until it's 2-star, it's going to get very, very difficult as you're not going to get the chance, Ducky.
Oh, thanks. Thank you for sticking around, Ducky, as well, so we can enjoy your VTuber model for a little bit longer as well. So we've got an incredibly close lobby with the majority of our remaining players having very similar HP. Deadly Ghost and Tanzingo going to be the lowest. And Razmeepa sitting up at the top, sitting pretty with 63 HP.
Yeah, 63 HP at this stage in the game is like actually incredibly good. Again though, the HP totals are incredibly close. By the time we hit Dragon, we may not even have another elimination if the bottom players manage to do it. But there is Deadly Ghost board. We just had a little peek at it. It is, in fact, this big beefy Void.
So it seems that people are kind of latching on to this idea that Void Bruisers is just something that's going to be around for a long time since the Bilgewater nerfs. No real way to cut through the front line outside of the Demacia Demon Slayer. I'm interested to see how well it does. I really am.
Some updates from our other lobbies. Hydropat letting us know that the lobby one had 2 players managed to hit Void 8, but they both lost to a 3-star Silco. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that longer term, because apparently it's a day of 3 stars.
Yeah, the last day when we managed to see so many 3-star. It's only game 2 and we've already had 2 3-star forecasts.
Yeah, that's insane. I came up against a 3-star Neela last night as well, along with the Kaiser I had the other day. I think Set 9.5 is just 4-star 3 costs. 4 costs even.
We saw Set 9 sort of trend towards that, towards the end of the set. It was really people focused on finding ways to get the 3-star forecast. It was almost like Draven meta, but without the Draven buff, you know?
Let's scoot back over to Nora and check out how things are going over here. It looks like the main development we've had is the addition of the Gangplank coming in, so we have got some kind of tougher decisions here at level 8 as to how Nora's going to be putting together this board longer term. It doesn't seem like there's too much inclination to go towards, say, Bilgewater 7 and play some of those weaker units.
Yeah, and of course, now that it's past 12 PM, it's fine to throw bullets at people. So Nora very much in line with both etiquette and the meta right now.
It's really been a learning day for everybody.
Yeah. Something very interesting to point out as well is opting to go for all 3 ornaments, rather, I believe.
I know I like calling them ornaments.
Yeah, I'm very much on the train for a while. But opting to go for all 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly gives you a very reliable path through the game. Unfortunately for Deadly Ghost, things are looking a little shakier, but stays alive as Sigma player drops down to 3 HP. We now have 2 out of our remaining 5 on the brink of elimination.
And you said it, Maisie. We could see Dragon without another elimination. That's the situation we find ourselves in.
Usually I say something and the opposite happens immediately after I'm finished saying it, so it's nice to feel vindicated in this position. But with 3 HP and 8 HP, we've got 2 players on 1 life, and that's not going to last very long. But I won't make any more predictions, because I'm kind of already on a high.
Yeah, absolutely. Get out while the going is good. For Razmeepa, things are looking very good indeed. Has a young wild and free and has been using that to scoop up everything first from the carousel. And this Demacia 7 board is looking very good indeed, with the Heimerdinger snuck in for just a little bit more utility.
Just sitting on 3 different augments there, I believe that's Mechana Swarm, Goldenator, and Shrink module, if my eyes don't deceive me.
Yes.
So looking to just do a little bit of everything with this turret, allow for the backline to do that little bit more work before getting thrown into the deep. As we see Tzingu come in with this absolutely terrifying Azir.
We've just seen on the bottom as well there, this is unrelated to the game, but is relevant to the tournament as a whole. Pills has just booted up Fallout on Steam.
Amazing.
Okay, I'm good. Have fun with the last round. I'm gonna just exist.
I mean, that's the important information we need to know to understand our players' mentality right now. Rather than watching games, just trying to clear the mind, ready for a final round of play still to come. Deadly Ghost goes out in 5th place, leaving Sigma player barely holding on in 4th, but finding a Mordekaiser 2 to press their case for a top 3. Ooh, and a Darius 3-2.
This Aatrox is terrifying for Tzingu here. If you can get that Aatrox to 2-star with those Thieves Gloves, you could just win. I mean, we saw it there. It was starting to wreak havoc on the back line. Have the Darius in as well for Juggernaut 4. Not too sure why it's sat on the back line, though.
Yeah, this is such an interesting setup here. Where, certainly I haven't seen a ton of people going for this Juggernaut front line. I think I love it in the combination with the United We Stand, and we've got the Azir taking advantage of all this, not bruiser beef, but beef nonetheless, as the fight devolves into absolute chaos. Honestly, I guess it's not going to be good enough with the Nilah reaching the backline, but it's still a pretty solid board.
It's worth pointing out that was a 3-star Vanquisher ready Darius on the board. That's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, just a little bit, and we've just said goodbye to, I guess we're calling her Naruto just now, because we got that over 30 debuff where we can't be down with the kids. So yeah, we're gonna just check in now. We're looking
Over
at
30 HP.
Yeah, yeah, Razmipa's board sitting top of the lobby right now, sitting real pretty with this Demacia board. Again, Demacia, a real dominant force in this tournament at large right now. We're gonna see it against that big 3-star Slurry, Vanquishery, maybe Slayer wasn't the word. But, we're doing damage! Big Darius!
Yeah, we've actually got some Noxus in play here with a Noxus Nilah dancing her way through the raindrops. Going to be going 1v1 with the Fiora, and it's always going to be a very tough battle to try and win. Unfortunately, it seems like it's all fallen to pieces for Razmipa here, as while Sigma player may only have a single life remaining, this board is winning by an absolute country mile.
Yeah, we now have 2 players left on that 1 HP. Not checked in with Tezingu for a little bit, but I imagine we'll see them real soon. Oh, we're going immediately to it. Thank you very much, lovely duck person.
Alright, so we've got the 7 Noxus online. Well, so Chica, we were talking about the idea, that Nilah did get a little nerfed in the most recent patch, but not majorly so, and maybe we would see her turn up in other contexts. It does seem like that's happened here, and at least it's working relatively well.
So this was kind of what I was alluding to at the start, where you go down this Vanquisher line. You haven't gone deep enough for it to really make a huge difference, but you are sitting on a 3-star Darius and a 2-star Nilah. Alone, these are 2 Vanquishers that can do a lot of work. Again, the Xayah also a very, very good option in that situation. Just as an option outside if you couldn't get the Nilah if it was highly contested. But Nilah and Darius just as Vanquishers do so much damage, especially if that Noxian Guillotine does crit.
We're back on board with Tazingu, who is again on a single life, much like Sigma player. We'll see if they can deploy the same level of ridiculousness we saw from Sigma. The backline doesn't seem to be as immediately impressive, and from Tazingu, they're getting a lot of uptime in this round to just pour out all the damage they want.
Yeah, damage indeed. Tazingu loses and goes down, but Sigma manages to remain in. So it's down to a final 1v1 showdown between Razmipa and Sigma, who is now streaking on 3 HP.
So it's 30-3, 10 times the health, but only 0.1 of the damage, it would seem, coming out of this Darius. It's gonna be down to tooth and nail here. Is the Darius gonna be able to carry this board along for Sigma player, or is Razmipa just going to wipe the floor again?
One more time around, the happy bee that is Sigma player. Keep your eye on that Darius as he'll be working his way through, goes right into the Galio, who's going to absorb a lot of that damage. If he can find his way onto the backline, and he will, things are going absolutely mad immediately.
Yeah, this is what we talked about. Again, not having that Quinn 3 in a Demacia reroll can really make you suffer, especially when there's a big beefy boy. Darius absolutely Noxian Guillotine his way through your entire team. That Fiora is, however, best in slot items and wanting to do her best, but Razmipa not got the edge to take the win here.
See if we can see both sides. No, I think everyone's looking at the same board here. But, I mean, Giga, if you're in Razmipa's position here, you know that Sigma player has proven to be very, very tough to beat. is there anything you're kind of looking at here to try and swing the matchup, or at least give you a chance of swinging the matchup?
You need to move Quinn, Kale, Sona to the other side of the board compared to Darius. If Darius cannot get to them first thing, and is instead jumping to Heimer, you're sitting in a much better position because you have the time for Quinn to get that ability off, to get the damage increase, to maybe start to melt through this Darius, and hope that Camille can finish off the rest of the board.
Razmeeper did just, I believe, pick up a Galio 3 off of that last round, so if we're talking about rocks that will help preserve the backline, surely he'll be able to do that well. Last time we saw eventually the Darius chew through, but this time perhaps not, Maisie.
Yeah, I think it does, like Zika said, come down to placement here. Now, that Darius almost has free access to the
Ooh.
backline, only getting stopped on the Fiora that's going to go down immediately. And that Galio can tank a few hits, and Darius will take some damage off that Ionic Spark. But Darius is now freed to roam. The execute has not happened. Oh, the Fiora is circling around him, though. That does
Oh, he's
Darius
down!
goes down.
You know, have the
Wow,
to worry about, though.
Yeah, I mean, it suddenly felt like it was all about the position. If Fiora still stays alive. Sorry, the Neela still stays alive under a furious hail of fire. Thank you, Doug, for the dramatic camera angle as the wit comes the calling. Razmeeper goes down. Sigma player, one last question mark, takes the lobby. Wow, that's one way to make your case towards first place.
That was a very tense and convincing win there from Sigma player. I've never seen that little bunny legend before, and my gosh, do I love it. It looks delicious.
Bun.
That's not the word.
Delicious.
It was like one of them wee chocolate Easter bunnies.
Now I know what to get you for Christmas.
Oh, please.
Wrong time of year, but I appreciate the thought.
It's only 3 months till Christmas. That honestly, you need to get your
No, I
early
meant
shopping
the
in
Easter
now.
Bunny at Christmas is the wrong time of year.
Oh, I don't know. I think, you know, with culture being the way it is, Maisie, I feel like we're allowed to start mixing our metaphors, mixing our celebrations, and just being like, Santa, Easter Bunny. Is there a mid-year mascot? I don't know. Have one of them as well.
Yeah.
The summer holidays? No, there's not
I
really
know,
a holiday in the middle of the year, is there?
No. Alright, well, dear chap, if you are aware of any, maybe summer solstice, I don't know if summer solstice has any kind of associated personage, but let us know. We're going to be heading to break because that was our lobby that was on a bit of a delay, so we don't have any further lobbies to show you before this round is over. But stick with us, we'll be back as soon as is humanly possible for our very last round of the competition. We, of course, will drunkenly stumble through that last game and bring you some top quality action as well. We know what this cast has been like here today, so it's going to be fantastic stuff. Stay tuned, we'll be back in about 7 minutes time.
I'm a silly sausage.
1.
DK.
Oh, wait, I forgot what I was supposed to be doing. Wait, can you start me up again, Jika?
Yeah. DK.
Okay. Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Donkey Kong! Okay.
Yes, we did it! We did it, gentle viewers. This is the professionalism you can expect as both like podcasters fling themselves off cameras. No, the internet, it will remember. I've tricked you into a dangerous situation. Gentle viewers, we have one more round left before it's all done here today. Before we go into the final game, Chica, could you give me one word that sums up your experience of the tournament so far?
Chaos.
Amazing?
Oh, I can't think of anything that's appropriate for stream.
Oh my gosh! I think that says all you need to know, really. Let's get into the last game on stream. We are headed to Lobby 1, so whoever wins this lobby is almost certainly going to win the entire competition.
Oh, that's good. We've managed to get 2 different POVs for this final game, which is good. We don't always get... Oh, wait.
Well, like Arrow, doing a little bit of scouting there. Thank you very much. Oh, looking at the scores as well. I think someone's doing a monitor capture rather than a window capture.
Yep.
Yeah,
So we're headed to the university, dear friends, which means that our first augment will be prismatic.
Yay!
One of the lesser impactful maps, if you ask, in my honest opinion.
Oh, see, well, I would argue the opposite. So, shall we have some fisticuffs? Some
Oh,
burning
okay.
fisticuffs?
I love it. I love it when we have the two casters having opposite opinions. How can we measure this? How can we determine who's right and who's wrong?
You
Right.
be the ref.
I'm gonna start this debate, right? How can you tell me, right? How can you tell me that? Sorry, I'm from Scotland, by the way, for anyone not
No,
familiar.
I love it. Let's have more of this, Maisie.
All right, so how can you tell me, right, that getting Cursed Crown, the Devil's Pact, whatever it's called, the one where
Cruel
you
Pact?
pay Cruel Pact. There we go. How can you tell me that getting Cruel Pact at the start of the game and immediately going to level 7 is not that impactful for the game? Your turn.
You
Debate.
say, there's no guarantees you'll get it, so
Oh.
it's a big gamble to take, right? It's
Right?
it's a
No,
bit
no,
of
no,
a
no, no,
gamble.
no, 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 no. You don't get the cultural appropriation Scottish back at me, right? Stay in your lane.
What? I don't know what's
It's a
going on
gamble.
anymore.
It's a bit of a gamble, and
There we go.
honestly, it's not a gamble you want to take.
Yeah, okay, well, it is a gamble you want to take, man. High risk, high reward. I love high risk, high reward. We're just having an argument here on stream, so if you're watching, I'm really sorry. But, yeah, no, high risk, high reward is, like, such a fun thing to do. This is a for fun tournament. Maybe in a traditional game of TFT, you wouldn't want to go for that, but here we go. We got the first augments coming in. They're going to be prismatic birthday present. How can you say that's not a huge starter kit? You're going to get a 2-star forecast by 4-2. Are you kidding me? But here we go on trade sector. Now, if there is a bunch of 3 stars on this board by the end of the Chico, then okay, fine, you win the argument. But that's amazing. Okay, this is a high impact thing. You can't say Jace's workshop is a high impact. God, I'm like Dennis from Always Sunny right now. I am a golden god. Sorry for headset users.
Wow, I've had to reduce your volume quite a lot there. Thank you for your passion, Chica. You've heard the Scottish side of things. Your response.
I mean, did we actually get an impact? You know what? Can we check the top POV quickly?
Oh!
Sorry. Oh
I
my
guess
God.
as a result of this argument, Scotland is now going to take over England.
But at least the southwest.
Sorry, my partner is sleeping. This is really inappropriate. I'm sorry.
Whoops. Why are our parents fighting? That's a great question, Hydropat. I don't know. This whole thing's gone to hell very quickly. But we do have the Cruel Pact, so I guess by
I don't
default,
believe it.
Maisie and therefore all of Scotland have won this argument, and this will be a high impact from beginning to end. Jacob, I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself here. Talk to us about Cruel Pact. What kind of level of impact? Is it a small wave? Is it a huge, life-changing moment here for Light Arrow, who, remember, has not lost a game so far?
Well, as you can see, level 7, sitting with 7 health at the moment, but you're going to heal 2 health every round, if I'm not mistaken. Is it every round or every win? I forget. But you're healing, right? You've gone down to 5 health, you've got to level 7, you're healing, you got to give more health to keep leveling, but that's fine. That's not the end of the world if you can get yourself back up. The important thing to look at is the fact that you are currently level 7 on 2-2. So you have access to a lot of high cost, high value units that are going to do a lot for you, and it means that things like Bilgewater and Vanquishers and Gunners and Demacia and all these other comps that we've been seeing suddenly just come online like that because one person's level 7 while the rest of the board is level, 5. No, they're just gonna say nuke the board. I'm level 7. I get everything I want. Shush your face.
I would just like to make a public apology for my behavior at the start of the game, for everybody watching, and also my partner who has now woke up and was standing sternly at my door looking at me. So I absolutely woke him up just screaming freedom. So apologies, to Ross if you're watching or indeed listening.
I mean, tell me true, Maisie. It's presumably not the first time this has happened with those exact words, I'm assuming.
Look, people from Scotland don't just go around screaming freedom, right? Let's get that stereotype out of the way for a second, right?
Okay, I'm just gonna say that someone from Scotland literally just did it, so I'm saying you're not helping that particular perception.
No. Well, when we said in the break, beautiful audience, that we would bring chaos to the last game, and I think you can agree that it started that way.
We're doing our job. We are doing our job.
Oh, jeez. Alright, so now we've resolved... we've got the anti-freedom lobby in the chat. Hydropat taking a break from providing us a wonderful POV to weigh in on the subject. We'd love to hear what you all think, because this stream, apparently, is a democracy.
Alright, Hydropat, don't start your nonsense, alright? I'm watching.
Well, let's throw it back. Let's throw it back at Hydropat. Let's critique this Hydropat board, and therefore critique the idea of anti-freedom.
I can't with this. I can't. But we will try. This is it. There's now a feud between Hydropat and myself that will take it out on ruthlessly analysing your board.
I suppose we should probably talk about the game at some point. Jacob, Hydropat gave us a nice little overview of the game there, and something that had been pointed out was we've got a couple of players who've been playing Earth who brought out some very early emblems, and here for Nike, we've got an early level up as well.
Definitely looking like the boards just across the lobby are going to start to really bolt forwards in strength as we get to a point. I mean, you can already see there, fully itemized Quinn for Hydropat, only at level 4, but looking very, very strong in their own right because of that Quinn.
Sorry, I want to take a second just to note here that we noted that Light Arrow, who's playing Cruel Pact in this game, has already said in the chat that he doesn't know how to play Cruel Pact, and the other people here in Lobby 1 are telling him how to do it.
That is the spirit of this for fun tournament. And Hydropat, don't think I don't see you there. He said in chat, can't critique me when I scan. Well, you're not scanning now, are you? Yeah? Actually, your board's actually pretty decent, so I don't have much to say.
My critique of this board is you're still level 4 and you've got all 1-star units. Saying. Just saying.
Yeah. Take that. Don't know where to follow up on that one. Light Arrow gets a win. I think actually the chat did a really good job of solidly explaining to us the entirety of this Cruel Pact composition, which is that we're getting up to around level 7, and then we're probably top 4ing. So coming into this lobby, like we mentioned, Light Arrow had not lost a game as of yet. They are currently 1 point ahead of Nike, who's on 15 points. So these two in particular will be keeping a close eye on Light Arrow and Nike. Their position relative to each other will likely determine who's winning the tournament.
one's in 8th, one's in 2nd, but one has Cruel Pack, the other doesn't. You tell me what's going to happen here.
Cruel Pack's pretty good. Just throw. I mean, I know I haven't really made my stance on Cruel Pack that clear this game, or whether it's impactful or not, but I think it's pretty impactful.
I mean, the rolls have been pretty good so far. I mean, we've got, one of the things we haven't even talked about as of yet for the new set is the item rework, because I think we're still trying to figure out our way through it, but generally speaking, it's been more flexible. Light Arrow's got some very generic AP items on the backline. It's maybe fishing for a second bow to make this Mordekaiser come really online. And with Cruel Packs, of course, you're going to get first crack at the carousel.
Yeah, first pick of the carousel. That again, something really impactful about Cruel Pack.
Oh no!
Is, of course,
no!
The early carousel choices that you're able to get there. And look at this 99% win chance. I have no idea what that plugin is, but by God, does that look nice when you're sitting on 15 HP.
Oh, it's that one's meta TFT for sure. I know because I use it myself. Sometimes it's very accurate, sometimes it's not. But when it's 99%, then you're in a good spot.
Yeah, I'll take those odds. I ain't a gambling woman, but I'd take those odds.
If you could see my face right now, just every time the word impact comes up, I'm just. And there's a last stand. Oh lordy lord!
Oh, yeah, last
what?
stand. That's really impactful.
Ah! Freedom! Has been acquired by Light Arrow. No longer tied to the idea of HP. Now can fly brilliant and free. I mean, we talked about the ceiling for a Cruel Pack board. I have to assume this is going to extend that ceiling from a top 4 to maybe a top 3 or even a top 2.
I like it. I'm going back to my tracker. This game doesn't like me apparently, so I'm going back to the tracker.
The Tratter?
The tracker. The tracker.
We're both in the southwest, I believe, of England, so we get to legitimately lay claim to that, despite the fact neither of us have got any kind of Devonshire accents going on.
I had no idea what was happening there for a brief second, but what I do know is that's a Mordekaiser 2 for Light Roll right now, and I like those. Now we're going to see our two streaming players against each other, Light Roll versus Hydro, who has managed to get that 2-star Quinn. Some more 2-star units. How do you feel about that, Sheikah?
Is it going to make a difference?
Well, no, because this is a really impactful augment, you see.
Come on and jam. Again, I didn't have anything to contribute there. I just, I still have that in my brain.
I can't find a corner.
So what I'm finding... Well, if I can drag you back out of the corner for a second. There you go.
Okay.
What I'm finding interesting in this lobby is, of course, we've got Light Arrow here, who is ripping through everybody. Hasn't actually even activated Last Stand as yet, and I don't know when that's going to happen. Because it's kind of... It's with a Cruel Pack board, you never want to be losing, because then you lose access to HP you need to level up. But, I mean, I guess you will eventually lose, so Light Arrow's in a kind of an awkward spot where presumably you would want to lose at some point, just not too soon.
The option that you've got available to you is you can spend health to get yourself to a point where you lose once you go into Last Stand, and then because you've just gained so much strength of board, you're back to winning again. That's entirely an option here, is you just play a weak board, you just play to get Last Stand activated, and suddenly you begin rolling even harder. It's not necessary, but it's an option, and it gets it out the way quickly, so you don't have to then think, okay, how am I going to get this proc? Or it just stays as insurance. If you can't make a strong board, and you can't get to a point where you're happy, a point in the game, then you hit a point, you start to lose, you've got your insurance policy of Last Stand, and then you can start winning again.
What do you think, Maisie? What does the Freedom Lobby think about this one? I don't know what that is in America, I just heard the term somewhere, so if that's something really bad, I apologize ahead of time.
Oh, I was gonna make a joke about Annie, but that's definitely not appropriate with me as a caster on stream, so let's not do that. Now we're seeing Hydro Pet really lean into this Demacia. Now, this has very, very much been a dominant force in the tournament, this Demacia, and not only that, we've got the trade sector available. We are doing those heavy rerolls at level 5 here to get the Poppy, to get that kill. Even the Galio's starting to stack up nicely, and with the Jarvan on board already, with the Jarvan and the Fiora, like this is a really fantastic start for Hydro Pet. It's just going to be about stabilizing, starting up the units, and getting it done.
Yeah, so I love the setup we've got for Hydro Pat. You know, I think this fits in a lot with what you've been talking about earlier in this competition, as you can win in terms of, you know, for this Demacia board, you've got a lot of different units, especially our friend Quinn here. You'd love to be able to 3-star. Having the shopping spree to get you an absolute ton of rerolls every time you level up means that Hydro Pat's current loss streak, I think, could turn into an incredibly strong board longer term.
It absolutely could, as the KL3 comes there. All it takes is getting this Quinn up there, getting a couple more items, the likes of your Kale, and you're honestly sitting pretty. You don't really have much to worry about. You're happy to just kind of play the board out as it comes. It's just a case of how long is it going to take, because you're already at 39 HP and Light Arrow is catching back up to you, so you don't have long.
Yeah, this is pretty true. Now, 2 more Poppies and Hydro Pat can really, really start to focus on getting those levels up. We have the units available. That Fiora is sitting there like, please put me in. And we got that Champion Duplicator as well. So finding an early 2-star 4-cost of one of our Demacians here, gonna be quite an easy task for Hydro Pat once we get the levels up. Now, for now, obviously, we're still a little bit weak, but that Quinn, she cooking. You gonna let her cook. And it does look like, actually, she's cooked enough. The Samira is now a souffle.
I think the big problem Hydro Pat's going to run into is simply your Kale's not going to come online for a little while.
Yeah, we don't have the items as of yet. I'm a little sus of the idea of Hydro Pat has got here of trying to get a Poppy 3 before moving up levels, because we can see from the rest of the lobby, we've got level up in play, we've got the Cruel Pack board that's very, very strong indeed. I think there's got to be a point at which you say, you know what, I can't get everything exactly perfect while still maintaining my ability to put together a stronger late game board.
Yeah, that's very true. There's going to be a lot of re-rolling in Hydro Pat's future if that Quinn 3 is going to get online. But look at these duplicators. Maybe don't use them on Poppy, I imagine. But that could be a Fiora 2 right now. That could be a Jarvan 2 right now. There's a lot of potential there. We're going to get that Kale online. But leveling here seems to be the best way forward for Hydro Pat. Because, well, we're going to be re-rolling a bunch. Don't you do it. Hydro, I see you.
Oh!
Bad, Hydro. You're going to hit
Hydro...
Poppy naturally.
Hydro is toying with us. He thought about pinging his 2 champion duplicators before realizing, strategically, that probably wasn't the best move.
Why mess with the lobby when you can mess with the casters, am I right?
See, you could also hold on to these until you have, you know, Quinn close to that 3-star mark and drop them on her.
That's entirely true. We've seen how impactful it is not to hit that kill.
Yeah, Hydro is still playing very conservative with his golds. You know, hasn't spent any. You know, he's got the rerolls from Shopping Spree. They will stay in place, but is now at the point where other people are leveling up further. They're getting stronger. These losses are getting more fierce, and I worry that Hydro Pat may have fallen too far behind the lobby's tempo to recover.
That's kind of...
Sorry.
Sorry.
Please. No, you go, Sheikah.
I was going to say, this is kind of one of the worries we had coming into this game, is if you can't get this Demacia off the ground, if you're contested, or if you just can't get it going, you're just going to fall behind in tempo and eventually fall flat on your face.
Now, Petricide Shackles is something that Hydro could really look to here, and it does get picked up. We do get one more pop. Don't use those duplicators, Hydro. You got this. There was a Jarvan there rolled past.
There it is.
That's because we don't care about Jarvans.
We don't care about Jarvans. We're Poppy only gaming. We got an extra Kale sitting there, but I mean, it's gonna be a story of finding the Quinns now. And with these rerolls in play, it should be easy to hit. I don't think Hydro Pat is down or indeed out just yet.
Oh no! Alright, the pressure is mounting. Demacia 7 is found, but we've skipped to Jarvan, and we have also skipped to Quinn as well, so the pressure is there for Hydro Pat, possibly because he's listening to us talking about him while he's playing. So let's give him a break for a little bit, as we'll see if he manages to put together any kind of win streak, and I think it should be good. we haven't talked about Light Arrow for a little bit, and this board still needs to stay strong.
Yeah, wow, this board we did get the RFC that we talked about for the Mordekaiser, but we're starting to come across opponents who have 2-star forecasts of their own, and Nike has no shortage of them right now as Light Arrow takes a hit. But with Last Stand sitting there, there's still plenty of wiggle room here. What's that final augment as well? I'm actually not familiar with it.
Oh, the Shroud of Stillness one. It's the one that means that everyone will take a small percentage of health until they make their first cast, which of course you can delay a little further with the Shroud of Stillness that comes with the augment. It's a pretty nice, it's certainly late game, it's very, very good indeed.
That's nearly a 3-star Mordekaiser.
Oh, yes, Light Arrow was saying he didn't know how to do these three, this level 7 reroll comp, but I think he's worked it out.
I mean, certainly the itemization is pretty good. The Night Harvester for a little bit of extra damage. Of course, the Rapid Fire Cannon picked up much earlier on, thanks to being on low HP and getting on that carousel early on. Against Blazeal, I think is going to be good enough to get the win here. But yeah, it seems like the only way through this game for Light Arrow, if he's going to make an attempt towards winning the entire competition, will be hitting that Mordekaiser 3.
Well, Light Arrow here has came first in the first 2 games, so we seen at the start of the game he was saying to the players in the lobby that he was looking for a top 3 here to maybe cement the win on the whole tournament. So these are high risk, high reward plays that I alluded to early game.
However, Nike also in this lobby is the only person that could really contend for that first place spot. I believe what was said in chat. So it'll be interesting to see if Cruel Pact plus Last Stand is enough to get there.
Yes, from our players, again, a reminder. So Light Arrow on 16 points, Nike on 15. You can see the difference in HP between the two of them. We have got 2 other players who are just below, as Loving and Sigma Player are both on 14. Loving, we can see, is very close to being eliminated. Sigma Player is currently at the top of the lobby. So, ideally, for Sigma Player, we'd like to take out Light Arrow and Nike in the bottom 4 to make it much more likely that Sigma can sweep out and sneak away the first place. There we go, There's the name, the Mana Burn.
Mana Burn, there we go. Yeah, we are checking in now with Razmipa. Well, obviously we've got Light Arrow's board here, but yeah, we're seeing this Bilgewater come back into play again, and Light Arrow's gonna take another hit here, by the looks of it.
Ooh.
9
Things
health.
are looking pretty dicey.
That Last Stand could come into effect any minute.
I wonder though, so let's do a last stand evaluation. We know that generally speaking, this is a spread bonus across the entire board. You're getting a bit of Omnivamp, you're getting a few stats and things. You need to have more than one unit that can make the most use out of this. We've got Ahri, we've got Mordekaiser, but everything else is really just there to tank. Maisie, do you think this is the round where, well, of course, we've got the last stand to kick in, but we expect to see Light Arrow just hold all of this until our last stand opens.
Yeah, I think that's still very much going to be the case. We see that Light Arrow could be against Tazingu or Sigma Player here. That's 2 very, very different HP totals. So I think who he's going to be against is going to directly impact how it's going to go. And it's going to be... I'm dizzy.
There's
Light
too many
Arrow
people.
Light Arrow is against... I don't
It's
know
a Demacia
Hydropet
ball from
here,
before.
but- Yeah, Light Arrow's against Hydropet, so that was actually not one of the players I saw on the scout there on Light Arrow's screen, but hey, it's what we're doing.
Now, Sheikah, from what I'm seeing from this round, I'm not completely convinced that Light Arrow is going to be made so much stronger by Last Stand to be able to win that kind of round, but are you with me on that, or think that it's going to be a different story?
Yeah, no, I'm largely with you there. It doesn't feel like this board is necessarily strong enough. I mean, you're only sitting on Slayer 2, you're only sitting on 2 Bruiser, 2 Freljord, 3 Ionia. You don't have the combat ability just off of your traits to go far here. So it's definitely a worrisome situation to be in at this point, hoping that you can find anything to tide you through the next PvP round.
Yeah, and we're seeing a huge roll down here. There's like 60 gold roll down, and not a single Mordekaiser was found on this day.
Might be
Oh
contested.
boy.
Only a single Ari found as well is very concerning.
Well, with no significant unit upgrades here, we are going to see that get sold. That's going to be 2 RFCs and probably the Bloodthirster on the Mordekaiser. Maybe something else coming out here. Tear the Goddess for a little Hodge action. Really thinking about it here, but Light Arrow not hitting any upgrades on the roll down. This is when we're going to see the true power of the Last Stand board come into play.
Alright, Light Arrow, have you got what it takes? 2 first places, the chance of a 3. Tazinger says, no, I don't want to be the person who faces you immediately after you've hit Last Stand. But the board's fight is looking relatively even. Mordekaiser does stay up, that Bloodthirster paying off, but as the front line evaporates, it's going to be 2 of them against the world.
Oh,
Bonky
they're
Kaiser.
kind of killed mid-cast. Yeah, it doesn't look like Last Stand has provided too much power there, because Tazingu was one of our bottom players going into that round, and it was still a very close fight.
Bonky Kaiser doing all the work it can.
Yeah, Mordekaiser 3 not gonna be on the cards here. We are
Oh,
still rolling-
what?
we're still in favor of the RE 2-star. Level 7 on a 1% chance. That is huge.
Jeez.
That could be the game changer.
I mean, that's got to be, surely. I mean, you know, everything else on the board is just tank, it's just Mordekaiser, it's just Ari. But this board is making the case. Razmeepa is on the win streak. Is the streak over as of this round?
Well, only time we see that Mordekaiser ascend. Now these 2 RFCs does mean that Mordekaiser is a little safer in the backline, and that Ari's gonna absolutely melt and obliterate the backline. The Mordekaiser bonking away. Light Arrow holds on one more round as Razmeepa takes a hit.
Let's go back and check in on Hydro Pat as Hydro gets knocked out. Oh no! Well, I'm glad at least we saw the end of it, but it did seem like our doom saying came to fruition here. Didn't quite get the board powerful enough before the hammer dropped.
That's what happens when you diss freedom in this stream. Sorry.
No, I think you're absolutely correct. The freedom takes another victory, honestly, Maisie. You're on a roll today.
Alright, now we're going to check in with Sigma's board. This is a player that just eliminated Hydropat here, so we have that Targon on board, and we're seeing complaints in chat of too much healing. So let's see some of that healing in action.
So, because this is something we saw from some of our other lobbies, that, you know, one of the changes for Ionia is getting that extra Bastion in the mix, because you're running the Ishtal in some form, thanks to Milio. We've got a 5 Invoker, 4 Bastion board with a very strong front line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Taric kind of fills a lot of what you want him to in this situation because of how strong Targon is, along with Ishtal and Invoker. Because a lot of the Invokers plus Soraka will just naturally heal very large amounts. So Targon beefs that up a little bit. And Taric, just a very good frontline unit. So it's a very nice take on the comp as a whole, I think.
Alright, Hydro Pat. Let's see. So we've got Light Arrow's POV. So anyone but, I think, whoever's on the lowest HP but in the lobby would be fantastic to keep an eye on. Apart from Light Arrow. So in that case, this will be Nike. So again, remember, Nike on 15 points. One of our challengers for first place. It's starting to seem like it might be a little bit of a challenge to get past Light Arrow, the current points leader.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a showdown, Battle of the Titans type approach here. Now, Nike does have that great Silco. Those are wonderful items that's really going to be keeping the team healthy. But this is it. This is the showdown we're talking about. These are the players with the 2 lowest HPs, both in contention for first place in this tournament.
Nike gets to take his fate into his own hands. And up against the Last Stand board. Again, the Mordekaiser, the Ari, the only ones that matter. The backline from Nike is pretty good. The Mordekaiser is just almost impossible to take down, though. Standing strong amongst the pile of goo. Nike will take the hit, but not, I think, quite out.
There's Mordekaiser surviving on strings every round. Far, the Bloodthirster plus the, I believe the ult shielding coming in there. Absolutely insane. Managing to keep him alive that little bit longer. And Razmeepa, again, just a massive health lead on this lobby. Every time we've seen this player, this seems to be the case.
Now, Razmeepa does at least have the fallback of that cushion of HP. 13 points overall, so is currently 5th. Might still have the smallest of chances of sneaking this one out, but Nike, especially if Nike can hold on here, he will lock down one of those upper places and keep Razmeepa from moving any further.
Yeah, Razmeepa back to the ye old tactic of throwing bolts at people, and oh boy does it have impact. That is only a 1-star as here, but look at the stacks, look at the items, gonna be able to do enough damage here, and Nike's gonna go down in 4th.
That's being put in the chat right now. So Nike, the closest contender for Light Arrow's first place, being now removed from the equation, leaves only Sigma player and Razmeepa. Sigma player on 14, Razmeepa on 13. I don't want to completely call this at this point, but it's looking very likely that Light Arrow, even without taking a third first place, will be our tournament winner.
Yeah, of course, we're not going to try and ruin that suspense for the viewers at home. We will have a final tally at the end just to make sure all our T's are crossed and I's are dotted, but Light Arrow very much looking great here. Oh, Hydro seeming to say that it would be a tie with Sigma if you're 3rd. So, Sigma looking to get that first now, so this game is not over by any means. Do not worry.
Slow and steady, wins the race, and Light Arrow showing that from the get-go. Not been above 25 health all game.
Yeah, this feels like very much Light Arrow versus the world, because everybody here believes they're in with a shot for first, so we'll be contesting that first place spot. If Light Arrow's gonna get the win here, it's certainly not gonna be given.
We've had several upgrades from Razmeepa off screen just there. 2-star Azir, 2-star Jarvan. I don't know if those are bench ones or if they're going to be on the board, building up towards maybe something even bigger. As you can see, the win percentage is looking a lot worse suddenly for Light Arrow.
Oh, that's
7%.
Yeah. The 7%'s got a sting when you're sitting, especially with all the chat we've been having, but Mordekaiser taking a lot of heavy fire, gonna go down. Light Arrow's gonna be down here in 3rd if he doesn't hold on, which he cannot.
Wait, that's Razmeepa winning!
Razmeepa
They both
won.
died!
Can we... I don't know if either of our players will show us a clear view of the endgame screen. There we go. So Razmeepa in 1st, Light Arrow gets into 2nd place. I believe that will have blown out the chances for anybody else to take the first. We'll await confirmation, of course, from Wet Noodles, our admin, who's, of course, working on things behind the scenes. Let's come back to us for a second while I just check and see if any of our lobbies are still going, because that was a hell of a first lobby.
That was, yeah, my goodness, the amount of firepower in that lobby, and I'm only gonna say it one more time, that really impactful Cruel Pact play that we saw from that first Prismatic Augment there in the game definitely carried Light Arrow to greatness there. The Last Stand, of course, being the MVP, so I guess if we were gonna debate about that, then Last Stand potentially had more impact there. But we're not here to fight, we're here to cast, and right now we have another lobby still going that we're able to bring a POV for, so let's settle right in and see how that's going.
Alright, who we got here? We've got Sun Tactician on top right now, Anonymous One, our POV player. Deadly Ghost still playing. It's looking like we're going to seeing a pretty fierce end of round, because Anonymous has got a pretty solid board, which looks like it's a, well, it is a Cho'Gath Bruiser reroll.
More Void Bruiser, yay!
Yeah, this is something we've seen a lot of today, and it's certainly something that we've seen a lot of in the top 4 of compositions. Like, players are not needing to get that Baron. They say, no, do you know what? I'm not going to need to wait till the end of the game to have a big beefy unit on the board. I'm going to make my whole team big beefy units. And, well, yeah, Cho'Gath is a unit, that's for sure.
Take the opportunity, Anonymous One, of course. Any of our players you see streaming here today, if you find yourself enamored of their particular playing style or memeing style, and any of our streamers, of course, you can go and drop a follow to, and we'd encourage you to do so. That is one of the objectives of the tournament, to promote some of the smaller TFT streamers, as we'll be getting Anonymous grabbing hold of a nice Gwynsu's to put the final cherry on top of this particular Beef Sunday.
Well, that's going straight on the Heimerdinger. Well, that's not a triple Goldenator Heimerdinger. There is a sneaky little gold... Oh, no, was there... I don't think there was. Sorry, the resolution is not perfect. Maybe there was a little Goldenator there. Is that Goldenator?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so there is going to be a little bit of gold generation here. It's not quite the cheeky triple Goldenator that we've all come and gotten used to here. But, yeah, let's have a little look and see how much gold is generated here for Heimerdinger.
Oh, apologies. Just a second. I'm just going to quickly bring us back to cameras and back to game again. I think there was a bit of a problem with some of the screens switching. So hopefully that's all resolved and we're back in. Thank you for letting me know, Hydropap. I do not know why that happened, but hopefully you can... I'm going to check the stream myself. Yes, we can at least see the lobby right now.
Wait, have we just been casting stuff that people can't see?
Apparently, we're doing such a good job of our radio cast that no one said anything.
Holy, I didn't even realize how low the health bars were.
Oh, yeah, this is a close lobby here.
This is down pat blinking health bars if I've ever seen.
Yeah, we got 4 players sitting on 1 life, so there's almost certainly gonna be 1 or 2 eliminations right now.
Let's check back in with our favourites. Player with a hard to pronounce name, who has gone deep into the strategist pool, or strategist pool, depending on how you like to say it. Up against a very similar looking board on the other side, but with an Ahri in tow. Deadly Ghost trying to make an elimination, and I think he might just be able to make it happen.
Yeah, Deadly Ghost, 1 HP and a Dream and 2 very beautiful Sorcerer back units. There's gonna be a death by cutscene here for Naruto. We can see the V-Trooper model, mouth wide open. That is a finish.
Oh boy. Everybody left in this lobby is on a single life. So we'll try and keep an eye out for who is going to be the eventual winner. I mean, Anonymous's board looks very, very good indeed. Hydropap, you might want to reload the stream because it's definitely not streaming out the break screen right now. No, Tatsingu is also not seeing it. I'm watching my stream and it's showing as the browser. That's really weird.
Oh wait, yeah, no, it's showing as the break screen for me as well, Counter.
Let me have a look.
I don't know how that could be the case.
Any casting energy. Right. Hydro, you're speaking some big words in this chat. No. Yeah, no,
thank you. Nora, thank you for the raid. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think anyone who's seeing on the break screen, please do just refresh it. I don't know, something must have caused it to get stuck. But the stream is currently on the game, and we're about to see, I think, Eddie getting knocked out here. Anonymous One gets those executes with the Goldenator you noted before, Maisie. I think we are down to our final 3.
Yeah, final 3 and 2 players on 1 HP, although it does not matter because our entire lobby right now is sitting on 1 HP. There's going to be a ghost round here, and if there's an upset, this right now on 6-5 could be our final round.
Alright, let's place our bets. Who's going to take the lobby? With no information outside of anonymous POV, who's winning the lobby?
I think Deadly Ghost. I think because we will never hear the end of it if Deadly Ghost wins, and that's so
yeah,
I prepare for that reality.
Yeah, I would like to see Deadly get the dub here just because this is a player that we see on the admin team does a lot of work for the stream, and that always feels nice. Not to discredit Qwoot, that's a cool name, Qwoot Hydra, or indeed
Qwoot.
Anonymous One clearly had a gargantuan beef game to get here, but you know, oh, and
It's 9 Shurima. I didn't even realize.
oh.
Sante got Monch. That's a terrifying Cho'Gath, though. For Anonymous, this could get very, very dangerous. Good lord, the headache.
No, please don't rapidly switch players. Qwoot Hydra. There's nothing Qwoot about this Cho'Gath, though. Chowing down on Hydra's board. That will send them out. Deadly Ghost is out as well. This means Anonymous One will take the win. Deadly Ghost will have to... well, won't be able to put that in chat. Congratulations, One, on a very well-won game.
Yeah, that was clearly one heck of a game. Once again, proving the sheer force of these brawler boards. Now, it wasn't even something we talked about in the sort of pre-show today when we were talking about potential comps that we thought we might see. But that's certainly something that, because I've seen the strength of it today, I want to go take into my ranked games. So thank you, stream, for the inspiration, baby.
Deacon, I've got a very important question for you here. Based on that last game and all the feasting that Anonymous One was doing, do you think there's any possibility we might see them change their name to Anonymous One?
You broke
That
Sheikah.
much possibility?
You broke her.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So with that, I believe I'm going to double check, but I believe that all of our results are, pretty close to them. Yes, I'm just double checking, and I think there's maybe like 1 or 2 still to go. I'm just going to do a quick check on the off chance they are still streaming. I don't think it is the case. So with that done, we're going to await final confirmation from admin Wet Noodles that this tournament is completely finalized. Apparently we're waiting on just one person from table 4. So with that in mind, we have got one last duty to discharge before we end out things today, and of course announce our final results as well, which will be our giveaway. Before we do, we have got a hot tip coming in from North America, all the way across the pond. Apparently, we need to go and check out Lobby 3. So let me just pull up on stream. Lobby 5, round 3, Lobby 3. Here we go. Let's bring this up on stream right now. And we can take a quick look before we move on to our prizes. Lawrence, what have you wrought? What is this?
Another 3-star Kai'Sa.
Oh.
Oh, it's a... Trying to figure out what's going on here. Let's see.
It's a
Crown of
Crown
Demacia.
Demacia
Oh, it's
game.
a Demacian crown board.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. And you had a Gangplank who was still carrying it at the end of the game. That seems like a pretty good way to end the tournament.
It does indeed, and you can't blame Lawrence at all for losing out to Kai'Sa 3. This very much has been a game of 3-star 4 costs. We've now had 2 Kai'Sa 3 stars in the tournament, and what was that, Silco 3 we had as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's been a day of 3 stars, and really, when you're hitting power spikes like that, it is hard to win out the lobby, but I very much respect the Crown of Demacia play staying on the Gangplank at the end. Anytime I get that lobby, I do not put the crown on the champions. I don't want to take damage. I'm scared.
And again, another shout out to Tom and TFT. Please go and support our small TFT streamers, because honestly, speaking from experience, we definitely all need the help. Oh, whoops. I'm on the wrong scene again. I need to get rid of this scene. Let's go. Bam. There we go. Back to our camera scene. Okay. Thank you, Lawrence, for the head up on that absolutely wild final game. So let's just quickly pop back to our prizes screen. Where have I put it? There we go. Just below there. To confirm what we've got to give away today. So we've got our first and second prize, which I believe we'll be able to confirm who that is in a second. And then 2 random people will be getting a prize. We've got also a riot points for best clip, which I'll sort out later on. Hopefully a lot sooner this time than I did last time. and for our streamers. So, for the only one of these which you can do immediately, no Hydropat, I did in fact give out the prize just before this tournament started for the best clip from the last one. I don't tell a lie, I swear. We're going to go through our streamers and see which of our streamers will be receiving a prize. So, let me just pull up our randomizer. Now, of course, you've both been on the competition before. You know what I'm going to ask of you next.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer, yeah.
I am going to require, I suppose for anyone who hasn't been here before, we're going to require both of these professional voice actors to provide the silliest voices possible in order to do our Will and Names. Just wanted to come back to our camera for a second just to see how excited you both were about this possibility. Let's jump across and see from our streamers who will be walking away today with one of our RP prizes. I believe I've got everyone in here who are streaming, and hopefully not any people who are saying, no, I wasn't streaming, which is always helpful.
Yeah,
Pika,
that does happen sometimes.
could you count us in from 3, 2, 1 on...
3, 2, 1.
Alright, who's our streamer going to be? Yes, Hydropat, we will in fact play the clip from last time round. I was Nora! We actually did make a lot of use of Nora's stream this time,
We
so
really
that makes
did.
sense. Congratulations, Nora. Alright, let's just tag you there. Let's see. So Nora was... I'm trying to remember Nora's...
Hush business.
Oh, that's right.
This is Naruto.
Says-
How could I forget? Dusky Business is our streamer winner. Congratulations. But yes, while we're waiting for the final results to be fully finalized, let's just go back to tournament clips and play our winning clip from last time round.
Ooh.
Content warning ahead of time. This one is proper weird, and it features Middlecott saying something honestly very strange.
Oh, per pills.
So this is our winner from last week's competition.
Nope.
Oh,
That's.
I'm not sure that came through to the stream.
Oh no. I was gonna say I heard it and I already hate it.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
All right, well I'll post it in the chat. There's something weird going on with the audio from Twitch is apparently not getting picked up by my OBS, which is a shame.
I'll save
But
it.
there you go. If you want to hear Middlecott saying something really weird, then you can.
As if there hasn't been weird stuff said here. The clip challenge for this week's gonna be quite messy, I imagine. So
Yeah.
just don't show it to any of the people that employ me. Thank you.
It's going to be a lot of blackmail material going through from today. All right. So I'm just going to confirm with Wet Noodles that we can announce our final results before moving ahead. I think you might have already said that's the case. Yes. So tiebreaks and everything is sorted. So let's bring across the final results. Shazam. Let's enhance this so we can actually see what's going on. And start from the bottom. With Pills and Trotter managing to prop up the last places. That's Mary Berry doing a pretty good
From
job.
Great British Bake Off.
Who else jumps out at us? Mr. Duck pulling out a very good last game. Nicely done. Susky Business managing to maintain a pretty good average throughout the competition. But, Dika, would you mind taking us through from the top 10 all the way to 5th place?
Yep. So I'm gonna struggle to say some of these names. I'm sure. Where is number 10? There.
Let's just assume it's here to here.
So in 10th, I'm gonna put that in air quotes, is Deadly Ghost. 9th is Blades Isle. 8th, Lawrence US. 11th, Empire Lofty. 10th, Q Hydra. And did I say 10th again? I'm reading the numbers on the side. That's my bad. And whatever's next, Eddie EVM.
Yeah, all credit to Lawrence. Like, what a beast. Running the Aegis side of things, but also finishing quite highly. Maisie, would you mind taking us through our, let's see, our first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth? Yep, we definitely gave you the wrong number. Sorry, Giga.
Oh, and we're gonna start with a name that I certainly can't say, Zarmalide. Then
Yeah.
into Anonymous 1, and then we got 4th place, Sigma Player, the delicious chocolate bunny looking little legend. And then our top 3, third's gonna go to Nike 3, then Razmipa TFT, and finally Light Arrow with that very impactful 3rd game. In first. They
It wasn't the first place the entire way through, but honestly, based on what we saw there, I mean, I don't think we were expecting Light Arrow to get any more than top 4, so congratulations on an incredibly well played tournament. So, just going to tag everybody up. So, Light Arrow will be our tournament winner.
Yes. With Razmipa in 2nd and Nike 3 in 3rd.
Second place. So, that means we're going to grab the names of everybody who wasn't in those top 4. Jam them into our random name picker here. And then we're going to do a draw for them as well, because we love them the most.
Oh.
So just a quick reminder of our prizes for today. Of course, we've got our mystery prize still to come.
I know
So
what it
this is going to be our this is going to be our random prize. So, Maisie, could you count us in for this one?
Okay. Yep.
3, 2, 1, a bear!
Terrifying.
I tried.
And it's Obi. Congratulations, Obi. Let's see if I can type your name correctly. There we go. Is our random RP winner.
Congratulations!
Oh, all right. Oh my gosh. Seems to be having a lot of problems with people having problems with the stream today. I do not know what is going on.
I think it's a Twitch issue, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I can only assume so because everything seems to be fine, but it's also not fine for people.
Well, the good news is, Connor, you'll be getting plenty ad revenue from all the refreshing I've been doing.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to invest that in a new house.
Let's go!
Alright, so we've got a random prize out of the way. Let me see. So we've got... What else have we got to do? I'm getting confused myself. So we've got the... We've done the streamer, we've got first place, second place, we've got random prize. Best clip will be sorted out later on. So I think we've done everything we're going to be doing for now, apart from mystery prize, right?
Yeah. So maybe
Okay.
I should reveal what it is, so we can get people nice and hyped for the wheel.
No, please do so.
Alright, so what's gonna happen right now is we have a mystery prize. Now, this is one heck of a mystery prize. Last time I brought a mystery prize, I gave away Gwen, a little chibi little legend Gwen. So, for today, I am pleased to announce that the winner here of our giveaway will be receiving one little dagger pop.
Uno Papo?
Little bubble.
Well, so the way we're going to do this is that for the top 3 players, they'll be getting extra entries in here. So Light Arrow, we're getting 4. Razmipa will be getting 3. And Nike will be getting 2. To give you a little bit better chance of obtaining this delightful pupper.
No, I should add as well that this puppy will not be an egg. It just goes directly into your account. So if it looks like the code doesn't work, we did not scam you. It's just it'll be in your collection. Do not worry. But yeah, dagger pop, dagger pop, dagger pop, dagger pop, dagger pop.
All right, Sheikah, would you mind counting us in the style? I don't know what a dagger pup sounds like, so whatever you feel like a dagger pup would count us in the style of.
3, 2, 1.
That's so much better than I was expecting. Nice. All right, who's the pup with the mup? It's gonna be Zarmalide. Zarmalide, congratulations. Is our
Yay.
pupper winner. Woof. Well, congratulations. So, I believe Maisie, you could I guess you could always send that by DM yourself, or you can send it to me and I can send it by DM. Either's fine.
Oh, Charlie, do it. Oh, do you know what? Yeah, come on, jump on me. We'll probably go back to camera soon.
Alright, well, Maisie's getting mugged by Charlie, her cat, at the moment. So she's indisposed. But that will bring us to an end for today. So the most important thing, of course, to remember is that while this competition is done on the 30th, we will be back. And I'm going to tag people's. We're back on the 30th of September for the next competition.
The 30th night of September. Sorry, I haven't felt.
I'm going to go through and see if there's anyone to raid that we can throw in at the end here, because we've had some very generous. I'm going to go for low to high and see if we can find someone new. If anyone's got any suggestions, I am open to them. Oh wait, I know the perfect person to send us to, actually.
Ooh.
Because he's a hero in the TFT scene, and I don't know if he's just started this or similar, but Durandus
Oh, I love
is streaming right now. Anyone who's unaware, he's a born in Poland, living now in Ireland, has certainly been a major impact player on the Northern Legends scene. So we're going to go across and say hello to Durandus. But again, on the 30th we will be back. For anyone who did win prizes, please do add me on EUS under the name Counterfeit. Let me know if my friends list gets too full. I'm working on getting a separate account for that.
Sorry.
It's not for that reason, let me put it that way. Alright, again, if you'd like to see more from Zika and from Amazing Marzipan, of course, below their name right now is their Twitter handle. I will drop those into the chat as well to make sure that's as easy as possible for everybody to follow along. I think that's pretty much it. We're about to drop through the raid. Any last words from each of you before we go? Zika, you first.
Been a pleasure. An absolute joy today.
Donkey
Amazing.
Kong.
All right, I don't think we can top that. So, Zika, Amazing Buzzpan, amazing job today, and we'll see you both down the line. For now, though, let's go say hi to Durandus. And we are outie, I think. Yeah. Just gonna make sure that raid's gone through, and then we can. Okay, yes, it has.